Oh, which one are we playing?
We're on book 5. It's Runelords.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
This is the last time you're gonna have to do this. Book 5 and 6 are gonna be in the same game. I learned my lesson. I did this originally for the other group, so that way I had the games ready to go when you guys did it. But I'm like, by the time you started playing and they were finishing, I'm like, I could have just did this all in one game and it would have been fine. I could have just archived the things until I needed them for you guys. But live and learn.
All right, let me look at this cover art here. Oh, we got a dragon. Holy shit, they have those in this game?
You've already fought a couple.
I have one as a companion.
Tiny dragons, they barely even count.
You fought young adult dragons. Don't kid yourself. You fought some.
Avatar size, names only, thank you.
As a bard, he fulfilled his duty and charmed one.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't fulfill his duty completely because he hasn't made a half-dragon spawn yet.
Mm-hmm. Give him a minute.
Yeah.
You just begin to hear unzipping sounds in the distance.
Just so I can. Oh, I don't have my sheet.
Yeah, I just waited for you to join. I'm giving you permissions right now.
Oh yeah, because I just joined. My bad. Yeah, am I the right level on my sheet, Richard?
I'll check as soon as it loads. Right, 13. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, we didn't level up last time, so.
I forgot I have to load it up in Chrome because Firefox is hating me lately. Oh, give me 1 second, I'll reload. But yes, it's been a minute since we played, everybody. Michael, when you're done checking your sheet, make sure to change your display name to your character name because I still have problems.
And after all these weeks, it's weird to have us all playing characters that aren't pun-based names.
I'll have you know Saturday Sunday is a gem.
Yeah, that and picking pockets.
Picking your pockets.
Which he hasn't done yet, amazingly.
Not yet. I'm hoping to get up a few more levels, so I have more than a 20% chance.
20%, that sounds generous.
Right.
I mean, it depends on who you pick. If you fail, it's not going to be like an Oblivion thing where they're like, you broke the law, die, criminal scum.
It'll be like a Skyrim thing, or like, go to jail for such and such time, and we're going to confiscate all your goods. You're now a homeless man.
Richard, I want to hire some underlings.
Too bad. You had the chance of having underlings for a while, but none of you took the bait.
I am very bad at being social bear man, I'll have you know. So,
but if everyone is set up and ready to go, we can go ahead and start the recording and start the game. I'm not hearing any no's, so. So it's been I've asked this question already before, but we've had some change in characters, and it's been a minute, so people's answers might have changed. And since it seems to be a heavy theme of the AP, what 7 deadly sin would you apply to your character for be the most accurate for your character?
Probably wrath.
Vanity.
That's not one of the 7 deadly sins.
Pride?
Yeah, pride
is, yeah.
Pride?
I mean, pride and vanity go pretty hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Emanuel's is pride.
Yeah, Emanuel's actually, here, let's do it this way. Everyone else answer for a different person. Like, all of you decide on, so Afixa. Everyone else, who do you think Afixa is represented by for 7 deadly sins?
Afixa.
I gotta look them up.
Yeah,
the 7 deadly sins, just for the audience, are pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth.
I think one of the biggest ways I remember those is Full Metal Alchemist.
You see, I remember it from the Seven Deadly Sins anime that I've been.
I remember it from church, you fucking heathens.
I haven't gone to church since I was like 7.
Neither have
They're
I.
talking about it in church.
I actively resist it every Christmas with my mom.
I go with either pride
I
or
would-
wrath.
I'm gonna say greed for Ifixa there because of our numerous encounters with Nualia where they walked out undead. Not undead, but not dead.
Insufficiently re-dead.
I mean, that could also
Yeah.
go along with pride as well. If she's too proud to admit that she's wrong about trying to redeem her and stuff.
No,
But I would say-
that.
I'm gonna agree with Michael. I would say greed because it's very much a wanting to have your cake and eat it too thing. Because
I'm opening it up to the
if-
floor for everybody.
if being with Nualia was really that important to you, you could fully join the dark side. Probably that would work, but you want to maintain the high ground and have someone. I don't know. I feel like it's a greed thing. I'm with Michael.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's
not-
why I'm opening it up to the
Greed
floor.
or covetousness, it says here. So
That works
I
for
say
me.
greed.
Well, it seems the majority has it, so Afixa will be greed.
All right,
for this
Gort's
answer.
wrath.
Yeah, probably.
Gort's wrath. He's a barbarian.
Anyone else have an opinion of not having Gork be wrath?
I love it how I have the reputation of being the barbarian despite no barbarian level.
Yeah, basically a barbarian.
He's barbarian.
Barbarian.
Sounds like the wrath has it.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not slothful, gluttonous, or envious, and he actively chided people for liking money. So
So this should be an easy one. What about Emanuel?
Right.
For Reach?
Let's see.
Glutton. All
Yeah, I
about
was
that magic items.
I was gonna say
Glutton.
glutton.
Magic.
Glutton normally means food, but in this case, it's a gluttony for information and wanting more things.
Yeah, Gluttony
Yeah,
doesn't have to just respond to.
Yeah, exactly.
I think greed and pride also could probably work, but yeah.
And
No
the
problem.
one that probably has the most sins attached to him. What about Pledrum?
Bedroom's a man of God.
I mean, can we give him all of them?
No.
The fuck do you mean all of them?
Yeah. I don't think any of us really qualify for sloth.
I mean, I guess I'd say greed. Because I haven't really seen any of the others, and his greed isn't necessarily a negative. It's just that he
Maybe
wants
pride
everyone
given
to
the
do what he
rivalry,
wants.
But
Envy could also be part of the rivalry.
A lust for life.
I don't think that's what that means, but
he's getting really high on life. He's getting
No, I'm
totally wasted on
really high.
Really enjoying living.
that's like being a whatchamacallit, an autosexual. It's where you're only sexually attracted to yourself.
That would make a lot of stuff easier.
I mean, point coat, not wrong.
I've met a few people that I feel like that are like that.
Yeah, no, Sam, so have I.
I mean, there's a point in loving yourself. I get that, but enough is enough after a certain point.
Mm.
Like, there was this guy I worked with who would repeatedly lift up his shirt to check out his abs in the mirror while we were working. Like, I'm not talking about in the bathroom or in the break room or something.
Yeah.
We were on the floor with the mirrors that we would sell in the middle of the store, and he would just lift up his shirt to look at himself and take a picture.
Jesus.
So, what's the definitive answer for Pledrum here? Sounds like greed or pride is the number ones.
I guess I'll go greed. I want to say envy just to have it be different, but I can't figure out what it would be.
Yeah, you don't have to be different from everyone else or anything in this.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just explaining my thought process.
I'm on board with either greed or envy.
I have another twist to pride is vainglory. What I was looking at was pride or vainglory, which is defined as inordinate pride in oneself or one's achievements. I don't know if that's more in line with pledrum than the word pride.
Seems like the greed has it so far, so we'll go ahead and go with that.
It works.
And then so locking those answers in. So where we left off, you had the combat showdown with Murian. You engaged him as well as one of his allies that you had failed to take care of on the floor above. The one that assisted him was still fairly weakened, but you were able to take him down before focusing on Murian. He himself was casting spells to the back, eventually catching Juan with a lucky disintegrate, turning him to ash as he felt like they just scattered across the room, trapping Emanuel in a glass case of emotion.
Briefly
Gork-
sending Afixa into a maze.
Gork was holding on to him for dear life before he somehow froze time and was able to escape it. Trying to do it a second time was met with a magical enchantment that seemed to block him from grabbing hold of the guy who was now flying in the middle of the room. Emanuel then levitated out of his glass case and planted the final shot, sending him to his ground. You all proceeded to land, and this would have happened before you began the loot hunting that happened beforehand, but I wanted to get that out of the way so we could take care of stuff. And but you see him like on the ground, like the final couple breaths beginning to leave his lungs as like his neck, like there's just an arrow hit in his chest and in his eyes. And you see his neck kind of twitch and snap and turn to face the group of you as you all kind of come to look upon him. It adjusts in a creak, an eerily rigid and awkward position. Almost like something grabbed hold of his head and just twisted him to look at you all. Though he has arrows in his eyes and you cannot see his vision, you hear a voice echoing in tandem with his own. You hear a voice that speaks, so you are the ones who seek to foil my goals at every turn. Are you heroes of the age? Or more akin to grasping worms that need to be crushed into the earth when I awaken? When I awaken the armies of Jin Shalast, when the name of Karzog is again spoken with fear and awe, know that the deaths of those marked by the Sahedron, the giants you have conveniently slain for me, hasten my return just as soon as yours will. Fools, the lot of you. Is this all you could manage in 10,000 years? And before you even have a chance to respond, the neck almost completely snaps like sideways, and the body just falls limp.
I feel like that wasn't him exactly talking to us.
Manuel, Reesh, and Afixa, could I have you make wisdom saves for me?
I would just like to say, I think there's like some middle ground between worms and heroes that we might be falling in.
Right.
I would like to say we're more like violent busybodies.
I mean, aren't that what all heroes are?
Open up, wellness
Maybe
check.
At least like a garden snake. Come on.
So the three of you, since you were the only ones present for it with the current party setup, you recognize this voice. You remember back when after you had fought Nualia for the first time, you found that hidden chamber with the message on repeat of the ancient Runelord telling his soldiers to muster on in a repeat cycle of basically staying strong and we will persevere. And you had at the time kind of pieced together that this was a Runelord. This is the same voice that you remember from back then.
Mm.
But you do not
any
have.
sort of knowledge of the name now that we have a name.
You can roll a knowledge history.
Man, Scylla had that name written down.
Like you have heard the name before, like at least the Fixerish and Emanuel have all heard the name Karzog, but you don't know the exact significance of it otherwise. With that knowledge history, you still don't really know beyond the name.
Okay.
It's if what he said is true, 10,000 years ago, there's probably very little that you can recover just from normal libraries.
Quick, somebody phone in Amadeus.
But the good news is you do know that there is a library that you have a library card for in this very dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to finding all the loot, which I think you all recorded beforehand.
Mhm.
If you guys forgot or anything to write it down, just let me know and I can remind you what they were. Looking at your items and stuff.
Yes, let's go.
The biggest thing that you found was a second bag of holding. You found in the bag of holding there was a grip of spell books that have everything up to 5th level spells of every spell in the core rulebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I remember.
So-
Rish
And Rish
getting
has spread them on the ground and is now rolling in them.
getting whatever the female equivalent of a female boner or a lizard boner is.
You also found like a scroll of limited wish. You found a defending spell storing club.
Mm-hmm.
A robe of runes.
I'm not seeing any of those on our.
Yeah, I don't even remember that limited wish.
Here, I'll type it all out.
Limited wish I don't remember in the row, but I do remember the spell books.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me transcribe it real quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Looks like if you gave it to us, we didn't transcribe it or it didn't copy over.
You ever think about how our level 20 Way of the Wicked characters could probably systematically kill this entire nation? Like, not with an army or like plans, but like literally just straight number crunch and counter kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure Hysteria has enough arrows.
Yeah, never did get one of the bows with dry fires.
I was just remembering that time that we found that black goo in the mountain, and it was just a DC superhero movement where it's Amadeus and Manfred literally flying over mountains and teleporting to the shadow plane with seemingly incredible resources, solving it and not really having an issue.
So that's pretty much all the items you find in on his possession and in his personal storage area. You also find laboratory equipment that's probably worth about 1,000 gold pieces, but it's also several hundred pounds.
I think that robe of runes is pretty prime for Rish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I will say this intelligence bonus does stack because it's not one of the key like item ones that are like a headband or whatever. I will allow this enhancement bonus to intelligence stack with the ones you get from automatic progression.
Oof.
As long as I can't remember, if it's still an enhancement bonus, I think you still lose out on it. But if the automatic progression isn't considered an enhancement bonus, you will get this one.
I think ABB is considered an enhancement, but
So if it is, it's still you won't get this one in act, unfortunately. But the rest of the stuff is still pretty nice.
Mhm.
You can basically recall spell levels. You get +2 bonuses on attack rolls and spell save DCs on the spells you recall.
Yeah, it's his enhancement bonus because it's meant to replace the
Okay.
headbands and belts.
Yeah. So unfortunately, not for that then. But the rest of the stuff is still pretty nice.
Up to 4 spell levels a day, yeah.
In addition to that, you also have that Pearl of Power, so you have plenty of stuff to recall spells.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bag of holding type 2 that I forgot to mention, but quite a bit of swag. In addition, you also find a note looking through his goods that stands out from the rest. So I'll show that to you. It looks like he was trying to map the region a little bit. This kind of keys you into why he might have attacked Sandpoint if he was looking for something. It says Hellstorm, Flume, Ruins, Foundation Stone from each would know where the traitor Zaliasa dwelt, and perhaps where he hid his key to the Rune Forge. What those words mean, you don't quite know. But it is pretty easy to assume that's probably why he sent those giants there.
Real question is, where does the bears fit into all this?
Yeah, you still haven't found your brothers.
Yeah. What, you thought, I was being funny?
So that's basically what you had. I will go ahead and, since you haven't really cleared the entire floor, and I imagine at least someone's going to want to check out the library, I transposed this map over here. I just covered up the library itself, but you should see everything else.
Yeah, I
Something
kicked the
on
dead.
key.
I kicked the dead giant's head. All right, so I know I don't know the most about wizards and such, but that ain't normal, yeah?
No.
From what I know.
Yeah, she didn't even sound like herself.
Was male giant, I thought.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was a girl.
Emanuel walks around, lifts up the giant's hands, puts it
Yep.
down, looks back in, squints, takes a step back. Oh yeah, you're right.
To be fair, almost all stone giants are bald, so this time it's not even entirely on Emanuel.
Yeah,
I remember her looking kind of feminine.
yeah. When I
fine.
squint at it at the right angle, I can see how that's a penis.
Manuel is going to walk over to the large amount, or where the mustaches are, and start collecting the stuff that fell off of Juan.
Any magical items that are on them aren't disintegrated. I'm not going to be that mean. I already broke one of your bows and disintegrated your beast.
Yeah, we saw in the spell description that his items would live.
Hey, I can choose to ignore that if you give me too much lip.
That's true.
Give
Son
you
of a
enough to
bitch.
Destroy his bows.
I destroyed his favor bow, but he can just get it repaired. Because the make whole spell exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad session for Emanuel. Good thing
Door
he
was
still got his
locked.
hair.
Trapped, so I think we were looking for a key.
Yeah.
Library RP.
Yep, you do find the key on Mockmurian himself. I think I mentioned that last session, but it's been so long I did need to mention it again. There is indeed a key.
Yes, now we have unlocked access to arcane lore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. Did you guys actually ever explain what your guys' motivation is to Gork and Bloodrum? Because we got involved with the whole giants and ogres, and then Gork's family was kidnapped. So I'm trying to remember if you guys actually ever explained that to us.
I don't think we did. I think largely we've just been going from one
Yeah.
disaster to another.
I mean, it's probably a good point to bring up as the days progress, because this is going to be probably the point where you guys have some downtime
Mhm.
coming up. So that might be something some of you address during the downtime. So what y'all want to do?
Let Rich do the library roleplay.
Yeah, if we got the key and we've got everything out of this room. Guess backtracking to the library. That was the trick to opening it. That
Did
didn't
anybody
say the
update the
name.
party loop?
Yeah, I just updated it. I haven't
Okay.
formatted it, but I'm adding stuff up as well.
All right. Just making sure.
There enough room in that second bag of holding for an exotic saddle?
Probably.
I imagine it's also where all these spell books are.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of spell books, but there's still plenty of room in a bag of holding after those.
Mm.
He's going to take a vial and scrape up a little bit of Juan's dust.
Snort that later. Absorb his power.
Feed it to his next companion.
Was it Nasarima that snorted angel dust? No, that was
It was Michael's
Asteri.
character.
No, yeah, not Asteri. Rimia.
I mean, I think half the party did some angel dust at one point.
Right.
So, Rish, is anyone else accompanying him to the library, or are the rest of you kind of just staying in this room and picking it clean?
Fix will
Imagine
be
we're all
tagging
going
along.
Okay, as long as you're all going. I didn't want to decide for you guys.
I mean, as far as we know, there's still an army of giants up top, so probably splitting party to go take, I don't know, get naked and shower or something like that isn't like a smart idea.
All right, boys, hit the showers.
So, yeah, you say the password, and then use the key, and you do open the library.
Mm-hmm.
As you enter, you see numerous glowing crystal lanterns hanging on fine chains from a domed ceiling about 60 feet above, filling the circular room with bright light. The walls of this room are carved with more runes and sigils, while overstuffed wood and leather chairs and polished oak tables surround a 30-foot wide shaft in the floor. You see the entire walls that aren't decorated in runes and basically built to be shelving is wall-to-wall books.
Is the librarian?
Yeah, as you enter, you see this three-legged clockwork creature. As it sees you all, it kind of hobbles over. One of its legs doesn't seem to work 100%. And as it comes up to you, is like, speaks in Thassalonian, which I believe only Reese speaks.
Mm-hmm.
The halfling.
The halfling, yes.
Yeah.
That one we don't speak of anymore.
Yes. He's very sad.
But yeah, it speaks to you as like, in a very choppy version of the language. Which volume of lore would you like me to retrieve for you? There are currently 24,491 volumes, scrolls, pamphlets, and unbound manuscripts available. Please indicate your wish by author, title, subject, or date of acquisition by the Thoracic Monastery. And then just kind of stop there and waits for you.
Exactly. Realize something. Pull out that note we found. Hellstorm Flume Runes subject.
Yes, I will retrieve the documents. As they go about their business, you take in the room, and you realize it's not the only thing in here. You see in a pile of what you thought was furs in the north is actually two bears, like kind of a dog pile, sleeping on each other. And in a single desk over in this direction, you see a single man writing in a book.
Well, obviously, I'm going to go up to the man and ignore the bears. I'm going to bears.
They are indeed your siblings.
Are they all right?
Yeah, they look fine. They actually look strange. They look brushed and like taken care of. It looks like they've had their nails even manicured, as close as what you can know what that is as a wild man. Seems they've been living in close to luxury. You see Stump Scratch is actually even wearing a decorative, what looks like almost like a hat. They've been pampered.
I immediately like full force violently tackle them because I imagine we're like that kind of trio of brothers that our form of roughhousing like violently smashes through the house walls.
Yeah, you immediately tackle them, and the one that is wearing the hat that was kind of on the bottom of the dog pile of sleep, just like freaks out for a second because it's not realizing what's going on. But the other one, Fishfur, immediately recognizes what's going on and just begins to tackle and begin to wrestle you and kind of knock some stuff over in the process. You see the librarian robot kind of like flailing his arms around erratically, little sparks coming out from behind his eye. The man looks up at you all and is like, "Oh, you're definitely smaller than the visitors I've had before." And you see sitting at the table a dark elven man.
Oh my god.
Fix will go ahead and sweep across all the people with a detect evil.
You don't detect evil.
Okay.
He's
And I will reveal the pictures real quick.
giants are indisposed.
Yes. I told them to be careful. Their requests of me only covered so much. Seems they were being assaulted from the outside. I imagine that is you folks.
Sound of lamp falling over.
Mostly, yes. They attack us first, though, you know.
It is not my concern. They requested my help in order to access this library, and I obliged.
Swear to God, I knew it, Richard.
You think I wasn't going to have a library with him in here? It's a lost library that was just discovered.
Wait, is that Amadeus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
about
that
halfway
paging
finished.
worked.
I'm about halfway finished transcribing the library here. If there's anything I can help you with, if the giants are disposed of, you can simply ask. I have no need to get involved in the qualms. Hopefully you see my way of thinking.
He's sensible.
Fix would ask if he knows anything of the name of whoever
He's Karzog.
was.
He was either controlling or in command of giants.
Karzog, yes. I have heard of some.
Place he said was Zinshalas.
I have seen some of that in my recordings. Most of it I've already sent to myself in a distance area. I should explain. I am what is known as a clone. I have been sent, or a simulacrum is more precise. I've been sent here to record things for my original self and transcribe it and send it away in this. And he holds up his book. It translates anything I write down into a distance book in a faraway land. And in doing so, my master maintains the knowledge that he wishes so hard for. I don't have all the knowledge myself, but I'd be more than happy to help you search. The librarian there is also very handy if you know what you're looking for. In essence, as you do research, the library itself, it lends a +10 to any roll based on Thassalonian outsiders, ancient religions, and anything to do with planes as a whole. The librarian also leads another +10, and though he doesn't introduce himself by name, Amadeus here gives you also another +10 for a total of +30 to any roll you make while you're in here.
Wow.
And in addition to it, since that's the library and the two of them helping, you can also make any knowledge rolls untrained. Though I will say, Gork, I don't think you really read very well, so I'll probably not say you can make them.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, Gork, as you're wrestling your brothers, you see the your bigger of the brothers isn't roughhousing with you and Fish for as you see him actually pick up one of his paws and kind of adjust his hat that got messed up as you try to tackle him. He's like,
Gord,
brother,
you
you
didn't
shouldn't.
tell us your brothers were so sophisticated.
You shouldn't just assault me out of the blue. I've learned how proper people act. I mean, that is people, right? Like they give me free food. Like the amount of fish I've had here, and they say they cook it. It's delicious. Have you had cooked fish?
Yeah, I've had opposable thumbs my entire life.
Well, you could have told me.
It's overrated. Stuff like that makes you soft.
He kind of just pokes his belly.
Yeah,
but
cook away
a
all
little
the
bit more
food.
rotund.
Is this something they're built? Like, are the
They're
are the
speaking
bears
bear.
speaking? Okay,
I'm speaking bear.
Yeah, they're
okay.
all speaking bear.
Just making sure. I think there's a bit of knowledge that Fix will want to look into, see if there's any mention of the prophesized SMR that she was at least one point part of. If there was any sort of proper prophecy, or if it was just intent.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, before we get to all the research and stuff, I'll ask you all that stuff in time because it's going to be over the course of a few days. It's not going to be like immediate obtaining the knowledge.
What my brother's doing down here when our mom was enslaved upstairs. That's a little fucked up.
Right?
Do you voice that vocally?
Yeah.
You see the Dark Elven individual is like, oh yes, they said they were giving me them as a gift in service of the fact that I warded their entire tunnels here with anti-teleportation magic. I don't
turn around and I look at the elf. What the? Do you speak bear?
I have some spells on me that let me understand any spoken language, including animals.
Comprehend language.
Comprehend language. I have speak with animals as well as many different spells. I myself am actually all but tapped out in terms of spell magic. If I cast another spell, I will vanish, as is my life as a simulacrum. But in return, they gave me these bears, but I have no need for them. I treated them well enough, and they are no property of mine as far as I'm concerned.
I turn back to my brothers, and you just sat down here the entire time?
Fishfur kind of chimes in like, well, I tried to break out, but every time I hit that door, some weird ghostly thing came out. The dark one over there that's sitting lazily, like he kept saying that you can't leave there without a library card. Fuck that is. Stump scratched himself. Is like, I don't know. I kind of liked it here. Whenever I was hungry, I got food. Whenever I was tired, I got to sleep. I mean,
Sorry, real quick. I know how in some languages there's some words that kind of stand out as being. So I'm thinking growl, 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 growl. Library card.
Yeah, I doubt Bear has a word for library card.
Seeing everyone start to speak bear, Pledrum is gonna get self-conscious and use tongues.
yeah, it doesn't say anything else. So yeah, you can understand what they're saying, or you can say what they're saying. Tongues is you can speak it, you can't understand it, or is it both?
I think tongues is
Speak
speaking.
and understand a
Speak and
language
understand
of any
any-
intelligent creature where it's racial tongue or regional dialect. So the question is if bears count.
I say since he spent enough time with you, they'll count.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say even if the bears don't count, Gork is definitely an intelligent creature,
Mm-hmm.
and he speaks bear. So
But yeah, you're Pledrum, you're able to pick up on stuff. Emanuel and Afixa and Reach are completely out of the loop when it comes to bear talk. Yeah, if you have any questions to ask or anything before we get into the downtime stuff that you're going to be doing, like research and whatever.
So I like to think that, Ifixa meets Rish's eye and say, I bet they wish they could have their own unspoken language.
Emanuel's found the only mirror in the library and he's checking his hair.
Emanuel, that's a painting.
Why does it look like me? Ah.
It's a landscape.
Gently flowing grass.
Oh, right. He said he did the anti-teleportation. Anti-teleportation spells. So we should see if he'll lower that so we can take trips out of here and back.
I don't see why not. He kind of just waves his hands for a few seconds, and they go. And he's like, they should be all gone now. At least the ones I cast. He cast a couple, but that's mostly just in his own chamber and the chamber that had his pet hounds that he trapped in there, so they couldn't teleport away.
Out of curiosity, where would have taken if fallen into teleport trap?
If you had fallen into the teleport trap, I put them in a few different places. Most of them were just strictly over the ravine into the river. One of them I had teleport you away in the dragon's chamber, and I believe the one that was in the chamber with the giant pot that they converted the giants into. I believe that one teleported into a volcano some ways away.
Hmm.
Bad one.
One of these things isn't quite like the other.
He was very protective of it, so he wanted me to put some extra precautions. So I figured if something falls into the volcano, they're probably not coming back anytime soon.
I'm trying to remember, what did it say that was the way of destroying that cauldron? I remember it was some intricate because it's an artifact, but I can't quite recall. Or was that something we wouldn't know?
You researched it a little bit. It has something to do with sinking a good aligned giant into there for a certain amount of time, as well as dunking a fuck ton of holy water in there. But you don't know the whole. You didn't spend a long time to figure out what's.
That would be another research topic then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna catch up with my brothers and inform them all the stuff going on and bully the shit out of Stump Scratch for going soft.
He is gone so soft.
Just terrible.
Like Winnie the Pooh is only a step softer.
Keep slapping the hat off of his head.
Every time he goes and retrieves it and refits it to his head, and you knock it off again, and it repeats the process.
I don't know why you want to wear that, you big idiot. I mean, the only reason why I'm wearing this fur kilt right now is because the other ones I'm with right now freak out whenever I take it off. Watch, and I just drop my pants.
Me?
And he's doing it again. Plaid drum.
Vic should turn her back to him.
See what I mean?
Gork, we talked about this.
I know. I pull up. Honestly, I just think it's a lack of confidence on their part.
Maybe we'd have to compare about that.
Okay, so if anyone else has anything they want to do in the immediate time, we can go into what you guys want to do for downtime while you're researching what have you. You can also do retraining if you wish.
Yep, definitely want to finish the research here on all this stuff, then probably dip out to Turtleback to see if the other lizard folk had arrived to set up in the dam. And be teleporting back from there and here to do stuff.
Emanuel needs to sit in the woods and do a ritual to say goodbye to Juan and to summon a new bonded creature.
How convenient. There are woods around Turtleback.
There's a few
I think he
topics
wants
I'd
to do
like
it
to.
here. There's some good mammoths around here he might want to talk to.
Not very much woods in these mountain passes.
Yeah,
I mean,
woods-
there's still animals. There's just not woods.
Yeah, but I'm joking because he specified woods.
Yeah, those.
So that's what two of them are doing. What about you? Actually, you said you wanted to research prophecy stuff.
Oh, there's a few topics. Just jot them down real quick.
Okay. I just write things down as I go, so I can go through the list as we go.
I also want to retrain the feet if we have enough time.
Yeah. There's no time frame on this right now. This is going to basically be your last downtime, I will tell you. So any retraining you want to do it now.
I'm double checking to make sure there wasn't anything now. I know I want to have I think we'll wait till like some part during this downtime period to have a conversation with Pledrum. But because
There's
it
going
kind
to
of
be
seems
some
like
stuff that happens other than what you guys want to do.
yeah, because I
Okay.
feel like we're gonna need to talk about our involvement in this whole business.
So, any like, downtime activity-wise you want to do for Gork, other than just talking to some people?
I'm still kind of thinking about that for a second, so I'll get back to you. I had ideas that I'm trying to remember, but that was like a month ago now in real life, so I'm just trying to get the marbles back in the jar, so to speak.
No worries. I'm just asking some stuff so I can start with some people and I can go back to others. Pledrum, are you going to be doing anything for this downtown?
Still not entirely sure where we go from here, so I'm just gonna be chilling out.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll start from the top. You want to do research that you can for the first day. We go to a list of stuff. There's lots of stuff. So you wanted to research Karzog. You wanted to research the Hellfire Flume, and what was the last thing?
I also have info on destroying the cauldron.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was asking for Kenneth because I was starting with his stuff first.
Yeah, I specifically asked about the flume first, but yeah, we also need to know about Karzog and Zin Shalast, I guess was the place he was going to unleash the armies of.
So for the first one, for the Hellfire Flume, go ahead and give me a knowledge history. It'll be at a plus 30 to whatever you roll.
Yay!
Hellfire Flumes are a ancient weaponry, actually. When you're going through, they bring you a book called A Traveler Upon the Golden Road. It's mostly like a journal account of someone traveling through the lands of greed that were run by Lord Karzog. But they talk about the Hellfire Flumes that were positioned on the edges of them that were made by a different rune lord by the name of Alanist or Alaznist. I can't really pronounce this name very well. But they were ancient monoliths that could be manned to shoot arcane magics and destroy basically armies that approach them. Gathering from what you can. You imagine what the lighthouse at Sandpoint is a long forgotten and probably unusable Hellfire Flume.
Yeah, it'll light up someone's life for a brief instant.
So whatever Mockmurian was looking for, he was looking for an old monolith that was connected to some kind of weaponry system of some kind. Looks like from what the letter's saying, he was looking more specifically for a person rather than the actual weapon itself. But looking through, that name doesn't seem important enough to have been recorded from what you found, even with all the 60 knowledge roll. That'll probably be the first day of research that you spend. So day 2, you're going to, or at sometime during this day, you're going to pop to Turtleback Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
You hop over to Turtleback Ferry for probably the second half of the day. It's relatively close to the same time of day as this is. Turtleback Ferry is actually relatively close to where you are in the Storval Plateau. The town itself seems to be going well. You actually do see a couple lizard folk trading what looks like to be furs and hides they might have hunted, and when they see you, they do wave at you to they come over to you and it's like, basically the equivalent of well met, sister. The information you gave us for this location has proved fruitful. The dam you spoke of has proven to be a glorious home once we removed the decaying troll bodies. They just also happen to be delicious.
Yeah, sorry I could not help earlier. I was adventuring and clearing out more dangers in the local area. Lots of giants were making trouble. But
Yes.
I have secured much arcane might through this.
We all knew
But
you were destined for good things, Reesh.
you're getting along with humans here, yes. Is good.
Many are scared of us with their
Yes, they are
soft,
very soft.
very, very soft. But we came trade. Those of us who can speak the common tongue come and trade, and they bargain, but we get fair trades. And the Fort Rannick put in good word, so we have been met with very little hostility.
Good, good. So I'm gonna arrange for a few extra commodities and stuff be shipped up. Probably spend 100 or 2 gold buying different things to spruce up the place and a flock of sheep for to run the dam with. I mentioned they have 2 hit dice, so they're not going to die after the first one, and then we can eat them.
And the good news is it's not one of those things that need to be operated all the time. It's just basically when it gets high or it starts getting low. So you're able to explain that kind of stuff to them. And they've lived in swamps and stuff. They know basically about like high waters and low waters and everything. So it's not hard to explain to them.
Oh yeah, and with Maggie again, I'm sure that lake is good fishing.
Oh yeah, they are eating pretty. You already see a couple of them starting clutches in this area. You know, not the entire tribe moved here, but quite a good amount of them.
Yeah, it's like
they basically
50 or so
split
per
so they can
splinter.
kind of splinter off. These ones have yet renamed themselves, so they're still calling themselves the Scytheclaw tribe.
I maybe suggest the jewel scale.
They take your title to heart. Since you have basically guided them here and provided for so much, you're not quite considered an elder, but you're probably the next best thing for them. Especially considering no elders have really traveled with them, because most of the elders are too old to make the entire trek. So these are all the young bucks that are trying to make a name for themselves and start a new tribe.
This is how Snake Jazz was introduced to Northern Varisia.
No, they're going to ride on giant bees before they play Snake Jazz.
Yeah.
But if anyone wanted to come with or whatever, it's.
Well, I
don't quite remember how much I can take with me at the moment.
I was going to drag my brothers back up to the surface to where, our mom is waiting.
Yeah, I'm going to check teleport, see how much I can actually pull with me. I don't think I'll be able to take Fatty there.
If he's willing, Gork, if you'll ask him if he's willing, I can shrink him down to a smaller size temporarily, and that way I can travel with y'all, because I'd like to be out in nature and not have to walk through the giants in order to do so.
What, Candy S. Paddington-y over here? Yeah, I'm sure he'll go for that.
Let's see. So it'd be 15. So
You just see him,
5.
like, when you tell him how to do that with Gork, he just kind of sulks over to Emanuel. It's kind of amusing to see a bear his size sulk.
It's like the biggest dog ever. Really?
I upcast 5 medium, which is 2.5 large.
You can tell that we're really good brothers because we're absolutely horrible to each other.
But yeah, it would be on the first day, honestly, while you're planning to travel outward into go meet Gork's mom and everything. You do see the one giant from above. Her name is Oh, I forget.
The one queen.
Well, then.
Yeah, she was the elder Kona the Wise. She comes down here with a familiar giant, Emanuel.
Is it the one that's got hots for me?
Yes. But she comes down and she's like, judging from the quietness and the fact that we haven't been accosted when we came down here, it seems you have dealt with our problem child, Mockmurian.
Yes. He's lie dead in his chambers.
If you don't have any plans for the body, the evidence of his death by the hands of those he considers lessers, as he kind of nods to you all, should send the more bloodthirsty running, and those who were just along for the ride should return to the proper tribal order, unless you have dire need for his body. He was defeated by you all, so.
I feel like you'll be better
actually, you
used to
can
it.
tell them all that the arrow that slew him came from Emanuel Depardieu.
I knock the hat off my brother's head and then say, well, I don't know. I was thinking about arranging his body in a humorous position, but maybe your thing is smarter.
Could do one first. Flip book.
But yeah, she does go and retrieve the body as her and the other go up, and she returns by the end of the day when Reach comes back to teleport you all back, or teleport you all up, to inform you that the majority of the giants have already left, and those who aren't are getting ready to go packing and return to their nomadic lifestyle, suitably cowed the ones that were the more troublesome. So you are free to disembark from just walking up if you wish.
Cover
Does,
every inch of this fortress in graffiti.
Does Fix have a chance to go through her research points?
I'm going through days, so I'm just going through what happened for day one. So your first thing you want to do for the day, do you want to just do the cauldron destruction stuff? Yeah. So do a knowledge arcana, you'll have a plus 30 to the roll. Even if it's untrained, you can make it.
All right.
$34. So with that knowledge, you know that you have to fill it with. I'll just give you the monetary number because it's easier. About 5,000 gold worth of special herbs and shaved metals before bringing it to a boil, and then letting a good aligned giant sink themselves into it, which will cause the pot to crack and become unusable.
Does the good aligned giant
fatal
basically
to the
boil
giant.
alive? Okay.
Yes. It is fatal to the giant. So it's like an act of sacrifice to destroy this thing.
Do we recover their body? Could we bring them back after?
I mean, maybe.
Ooh, death has no consequences.
Giant resurrects as a gnome.
Well, I mean, there's someone who can do reincarnate among the giants. You know, Kona can, as well as a fix that can just slap them awake.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But it's just a question of finding a good aligned giant. As you know, most of the ones around here have been either evil or neutral. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what you could find in the day is the information about the cauldron.
Okay.
Gork, you make your way up to take your brothers to meet with your mom. Emanuel accompanies you to go look for a suitable mammoth or something. You make your way up. It is quiet. You do see some giants idling outside of the walls in the camps, but they don't seem to be. When they do see the bears coming out and they kind of spot a couple humans, they kind of turn their head and walk away from the entrance. They don't want to fuck with y'all right now.
Yeah, we're badass.
Well, I mean, you did kill their leader after you infiltrated the place, after they caught you twice and didn't do shit to you. But yeah, flying overhead, you see a eagle descend only to transform into your mother Gork.
Mhm.
And she's just big smile ear to ears like, oh, my babies are all together again. She gives you all big bear hugs. Realize she can't fit all of you in one, transforms into a bear, and then does it.
Nice. I turn into a bear, completely exclude Emanuel from the conversation.
Yeah, Manuel's doing like that thing where he's checking his phone off to the side.
Begins to lay out his incense for his ritual.
I like how it's a recurring thing because that was basically exactly what I was doing in the Goblin camp too.
He could struggle along just as a trophy wife to a lot of the time. I'm just here to look pretty.
He's just scrolling through his social media feeds. You know, the world would be a better place if all these freaking people just learned English.
But yeah, she greets you all.
And then everyone freaks out because Emanuel started speaking
English, which is a different language in this setting.
But yeah,
Charlie,
Fishfur, as soon as he broke free from the surface, he immediately just started running around the open area. Stump Scratch still kind of just, as he sulks his way up with you guys, he eventually just sits down when after the big bear hug happens. But it's like, so it seems like neither of you works for wear, and they communicate that they're fine. Fishfur was really insulted that they wanted to keep him as a what he's heard of as called a house cat. Stump Scratch still insists that it was a great idea because they got free food, cooked food even.
He's Garfield.
Listen, Stump Scratch. It's over anyway. We killed all the giants. Even if you stayed here, you're not getting any more.
Yeah, he just sulks further. And yeah, the mom communicates to you all about how if whenever you want to, she can send you all back to the forest. Fishfur immediately like right now. She basically just casts a spell to create a tree because there's not one in the vicinity, and then just opens a portal through it, and Fishfur just lunges through it. Stump Scratch refuses to go. Also, he's a little big for just going through a tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fishfur must have left his weed over there.
His bear weed.
His bear weed. He got that from the High Druid.
Yeah. That druid can make anything out of weed.
We stay on brand. Bear Snurb.
Yeah, bear
Snurb.
snurb. That's
Snurb. It's laced with horse tranquilizer.
right.
No, you see, it's not snurb because that's snow herb. This is bear herb. This is burb.
Methamphetamine.
So, Emanuel, you're just watching them awkwardly, or you go out and try to find yourself a new companion?
Well, I don't want to go out by myself. So, Gork, what's your plan? Are you going back to your woods, or are you going to hang around and try and help us figure out what to do next?
I'm gonna have a conversation with my mom about that, and since I'm currently in bear form, that just comes out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna look for a safe spot over here.
Yeah, you just kind of distance yourself. You get closest to the door area, so if something comes, you can just walk in without having to come hunt for you. So you begin your ritual. Gork, you go over to your mom, and do you explain what you found out and stuff?
Yeah. Give her the synopsis of all the stuff and all the weird names and all the stuff that's going on. And my concern, because as I've stated in the past, I have become worried that we've just been hiding out in the forest and not being as proactive as we should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my circle had long departed into other lands. I decided to stay at the forest as it was my home, and I meant to start a new circle, but I just got so involved with the nature and, kind of made a family, and as it were. And she kind of reminisces a minute and goes on about the equivalent of mom doting about I remember when we found Gork all dressed in clothing, just left to their own devices. Blood everywhere. No, you hear
Sleeping
this
inside a
from there.
wildebeest rib cage like it's a tauntaun.
But eventually she kind of chimes in like, I don't know or recognize any of these names, but something that wants to conquer like that is a concern. To be fair, do you think your friends could handle anything without you? You seem to be the muscle, like quite literally. Like she kind of points over to Emanuel. He's like, he's kind of scrawny.
Yeah, his snake did most of the heavy lifting. I don't think he could find his. I don't think he could pour. What's that expression that Pledgem taught him? He couldn't pour piss out of a boot if the directions are on the bottom.
I get that joke. That's very funny.
Really? I've had it explained to me a couple of times.
Sad shot of
She gives you a
Emanuel
bear
still
analogy
trying
that
to
means
light
the
his
same
fire.
thing.
Yeah.
She basically makes an analogy in bear that sounds exactly completely opposite, but makes the same analogy.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Emmanuel's over there. He's got the flint and he's just rubbing it on the log and wondering what he's doing wrong.
Yeah. Flash it over to Emanuel. You're doing your ritual. You remember when you bound with Juan, it was a little easier because he was right next to you when you were getting basically a bonded animal.
Yeah,
That's part of
Emanuel's
training.
opening up his pack and taking all the herbs and rations and food out, trying to think what is going
The
to bring
11 herbs and spices.
the man over.
You're basically going through the-
family's secret 11 herbs and spice.
Yeah.
The secret is there's actually 12.
Yeah, you go through your
Mabel
process.
rides around on a giant chicken for the rest of the game.
That'd be great. But yeah, you're going about the entire process. You lay out your stuff and you begin to try to meditate. Before you hear a big weight kind of flop next to you as you look over and you see Stump Scratch like looking at the food you brought out of your bag. He's like, you gonna eat that?
Yeah, Stump throws him some rations and is like, quiet. I have to meditate.
You can just scarf it down. Not quiet at all. Meanwhile, flashback to Gork. You see your brother trying to kiss ass to get free food again.
Pledgem isn't getting distracted by tiny discs. He knows what he's doing. I think the she lizard is just tagging along because it's getting her things. And the she gnome is troubled. They're strong, just not focused.
I mean, I understand that. I am probably the least focused of probably any of us in the group here. She kind of looks at you and Emanuel and Stump Scratch. Like, at least Stump Scratch is pretty basic. He just wants food. I'm really surprised we didn't name him Fish Fur, considering how much he likes to eat.
You're the mama. It's on you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Emanuel, you continue your ritual, and you cannot concentrate on meditating as the sound of just gnawing and chewing just emanates next to you.
He's going to start humming to block out all of the eating as he meditates.
Bears are not silent creatures.
You begin to hum before Stump Scratch just kind of flops down in front of you. He's like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find a creature in the area to bond with. If you would please be quiet, I'd appreciate better manners.
What is bonding? Does that pay food?
Well, I mean, yes, I do take care of feeding my bonded companions.
Okay, I'll do it.
He also occasionally stitches armor into their body.
Yep.
Left that part out.
Yeah, no.
By the way, you notice as you begin this ritual, you don't know how you begin to speak to a bear.
I haven't noticed that yet, but it's a very tough job on the bonded creature's part. They have to be able to fight very well and defend me with their life.
I
They
mean,
will.
can you provide fish to eat, preferably salted?
I mean, yes, but you missed the point. Like, the bonded animal has to be able to fight. They don't just sit around and eat all the time.
He just stands up, goes over to the door. You see him sit down next to it, and as he looks at you, pulls up his paw, swipes, and you see a chunk of like concrete practically just smack off of the wall.
Huh.
So
This
about
could
that
prove
fish.
useful. Don't have any on me, but do have this, and hands him more rations.
I just begins
Let's
discussing
talk
that.
for a little while. Wait a
As,
minute. How are
as
we
Emanuel
talking?
begins to get his new animal companion.
He pulls out the org. He pulls out the org chart to explain how this works.
Now, you do get time off on these days at these hours. All other commands must be followed promptly. I'm going to need a resume of what skills you have. Do you know how to use a bow staff?
I can bite. I can scratch. I can wear hats.
I do like your hat. I have to
All
admit,
right.
but we're
Not the bear
gonna-
of the War Union.
Meanwhile,
need to
Dork,
get
you
you
already
something
see the
nicer.
writing of the wall as you see your
Mhm.
brother somehow talking to Emanuel.
That's not going to end well.
And you just see the mom being like, "Ah, he made a friend."
Why couldn't have been with a tiny one? All right. You're the wisest person I know. Should
I'm
I?
sorry.
I don't know if you're doing this intentionally, Richard, but have you ever watched the Netflix show The Dragon Prince?
I have not.
Well, there's this character in season 2, which she's like this sorceress of illusions that
Mhm.
in the story you think she should be like the wise mentor character, but she's terrible at it. She says, well, I'm an illusion mage. Whenever we ask for advice, it says, if you need wisdom, I'll do my best to lie to you. And just all of her advice is terrible.
Mhm.
Anyway.
I'm basically trying to play your mom as basically the ditzy mom.
Mm-hmm. Should I keep on with this? Or should we just go back to the woods and see if this all blows over?
Well, I mean, the woods should still be there regardless, but if what you explained to me and something about armies usually need things, whether it be beasts of burden, that she kind of motioned over to the bear, or they need kindling for their armies and kind of thinks about the forest and kindling comes from trees, so at the very least they'll eventually come and harvest anything we have there for their growing armies if it's anywhere close to here. So I would say probably stick with it, but I guess find out what their goal is and what you're trying to stop, I imagine. I mean,
Looks around at the ruined giant fortress and tent city around us. Nothing good. I've seen a lot of good things from Two Legs, and a really weird collection of dwellings that just went on for a long, long time. They've got like these wooden things that float on the water that make me throw up a lot.
Oh yeah, I meant to introduce you to cities before you went out on your own, but I kind of just forgot.
I don't know. I just ran around. They all brought up pointy sticks. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But there's a lot of greed in them too, and the big Two Legs here don't seem to be much better at it.
Mm-mm. Giants have always caused some problems, but to be fair, stone giants before had never been a big issue. They were mostly nomadic, and as long as you didn't invade their lands, they didn't really bother you too much. I mean, there were occasional raids, but they weren't like ogre level of nuisances. But something caught a fire under them, and if this Karzug, whatever their name is responsible for that, can't be good.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to set this one right. Do what I do best. Just beat the bad thing until it stops moving. Then hit it a few more times.
You take after your papa.
Who knows? Maybe I can show the Two Legs a better way to be. You know, none of this big building, funny smelling, clothed, shiny disc worshipping. Just really get him to boil life down to the bare necessities.
I wouldn't try to discourage clothing. That usually ends badly.
I can just grow the fur I need. It's fine.
So yeah, basically it kind of devolves from there into more small talk and stuff.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Emanuel somehow, in a roundabout way that he's not used to, completes his bonding with your brother.
So you're telling me is that I do get 100 days off a year, but they're in 2-minute increments spread out across the other days?
Unless they're interrupted because I need something.
Got it. Yes.
Well, on my part, I want hats. Fancier hats, the better. I
Yeah,
also
we're
want
gonna have
fish.
to really. We're gonna need you get you new hats and some new clothing.
I like this. This is good.
I like this too. I also think that Gork will like me better now too.
He doesn't like anybody.
Yeah.
Gork, you hear that
Maybe-
loud and clear. He is not silent about it.
I throw a rock at him, probably missing hit Emanuel instead.
Now he's gonna just pick on the both of us.
Sorry, I was aiming for my brother.
It's okay. We're new best friends.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But yeah, that's basically the full day for Gork and Emanuel there. Pledrum, you
Sorry, my.
Hmm?
Sorry, my Skype went out there at the end.
I was just saying
Sorry.
you're basically done for the day for that. Pledrum, downstairs, you've kind of been chilling. You actually do find a couple rolled up scrolls of music that you just can begin to strum. And then we're on to day 2. This will probably begin retraining on Emanuel's part, as well as anyone else who wishes to do it, but any more research people wish to do.
There's some retraining I'd also like to do if there's time.
Yeah, there's no time frame on this
Okay.
right now, so I'm just going day to day for the research sake.
Okay.
Um,
For the retrain, want just approval since it is substituting prerequisites. So
What do you mean?
So like the maximize grace or the one that allows me to revive people, the prerequisite is greater mercy, which if none of the dice or if none of the mercies apply, then it gets like a plus something, or I think it's an extra d6 to the roll, but that never happens because the mercies I chose. So I was wondering if instead of that that feat, I replace it with like an extra lay on hands or ranged lay on hands.
What's the feat that has the prerequisites? I can look it up real quick.
Let me see. Try to remember the name of it. Ultimate Mercy. Ultimate Mercy has the prerequisite of.
I know. I'm just looking at it real quick.
Okay.
So you need the greater mercy feat.
Yeah.
Okay. I will let you replace it with the extra mercy, I believe it's called, or extra mercy, or the let me see where it is. Hold on a second. Or the reactive healing. Oh, no, that one requires prerequisites. Never mind about that one. Or the reward of grace, or the reward of life. Feats.
Okay.
So one of those feats you can retrain into if you wish to have it instead of the prerequisite feat.
Okay, I'll look into that. And for the purposes of like the critical feats, is the critical focus. Could that prerequisite be substitute to was it improve critical? So basically, I understand if you want to have a little bit of a barrier for those critical feats.
I was gonna say the critical feats will probably stand as they are
Okay.
in terms of prerequisites and stuff, because those are already really powerful in a
Yeah.
crit build.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so that'll just be replacing Greater Mercy with one of those 4 he gave me. I'll read through them real quick.
Emanuel, what were you retraining? Or Cove, if you
I wanted to get rid of retrain combat advice into bullseye shot.
Okay. I mean, that's not like anything like he was asking about the prerequisites and stuff.
Yeah, and then I want to retrain angelic blood into evolved companion.
Gotcha. So yeah, just tell me
Too
how many.
general.
Just go do the math of how many days those will take, and let me know for both of you.
Yep.
In terms of the retraining. I'll let you have the time it would take for like if you had a mentor to train you.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to take as long as the maximum one. And then in terms of research, because you can do this in between your retraining too, since the fix and Reach are still researching. For Reach, when you're doing your research, do you want to do Zin Shalast first or Karzog?
Let's go with Karzog since we're more sure about him.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make me a knowledge history check. So out of the 30, that'll be 54. So you learned quite a bit. So Karzog was the Runelord of Greed. While he himself, an Aslanti human, was a powerful man, he was said to have been the most gifted manipulator of transmutation magic in all of Thassalon, and to have lived for hundreds of years. He ruled a region called Shalast, part of the ancient empire of Thassalon over 10,000 years ago. His armies were composed primarily of giants who followed his every command. The giants were ruled by towering monsters known as rune giants, who were themselves Runelord pawns. Karzog counted other creatures as allies as well, such as blue dragons, these eerie creatures from the nightmare realm of Leng, blood-drinking outsiders known as Scarlet Walkers, and immense Lamia Harridans who tower over most giants. Karzog focused his magic on the school of transmutation, magic associated in Thessalonian times with the virtue of wealth. Under his reign, the virtue became more associated with the sin of greed, and among the Runelords, his mastery of greed magic was uncontested. Yet he had very ineffective skills when it came to schools of illusion and enchantment, related to the sins of pride and lust. His skills, of which had atrophied greatly in the study of transmutation. Many believe that in order to fight against him, they needed to fight with weapons infused with illusion and enchantment magic, known as dominant weapons, that were said to have been the most particularly potent against Karzog. Yet no record of someone attacking the Runelord with such a weapon exists within the library. Karzog warred with his neighbors, but none more so than Alaznist, the Runelord of Wrath, the ruler of Bakrakhan. Between their nations, along the ridge known as the Rasp, Karzog built immense sentinel statues to watch over Bakharan, while Alaznist built towers called Hellfire Flumes to prevent Karzog's army from invading. Both of the nations were worried that a war between Karzog and Alaznist would soon escalate to the point that they could bring about the end of the world. You also learned that as their war intensified, and as wars between the Runelords threatened more than just their armies, the Runelords devised methods of which to escape the world and enter a state of suspended animation, so they could ride out the cataclysm as it is. In theory, their surviving minions would waken them to reclaim their empires once the cataclysms end. But that is about as much as you find out. You find out through several different books. There's a book known Lord of Wealth, Karzog's Trade and Conquests. Karzog, Lord of Lords and Master of All. You see another one known as the Sculpting Guide to the Flesh Pots of Zinshalast. But that is about as much as you find out about Karzog.
Found this one over here. Karzog, Art of the Steel.
Yep. I was also going to shrink the pot and take it with us.
Okay.
Karzog, 11 Rules for Death.
Karzog, doctors hate him.
Secrets to unimaginable wealth, and basically you're retarded. Learn how.
It is a magical item. Can shrink item be used on magical items?
If it has a will, it gets its own. It gets a save. That's what the will object is. But if it's not a sentient object, then it
I was
doesn't.
reading it. It says it can shrink one non-magical item.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it's right there in like the fifth word, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to look up because I skip words all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, it's rough because you skip words because you want it to be the other thing because it would be cooler.
Well, sometimes I just skip it because my reading comprehension has gotten worse since high school.
It has that word non-magical in there.
You see magical and you're like, okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess
So
it's
what the fuck does non-magical mean? Everything's non-magical.
So, Affixit, what did you want to research today?
Let's see. Let's go. The prophecy on the 3 Asimar.
Okay, go ahead and roll me religion, or knowledge religion, and it'll be a plus 30 to the roll.
Alright.
Do prophecies no longer work?
Yeah, that's an issue that some people know about, but not everybody.
Yeah. I
And Amadeus actually does seem particularly keen to know what you find out about this because he's curious about anything when it comes to like that kind of stuff or stuff that he doesn't know about. So, say 48. That's pretty good. So you do see some stuff. Like you find some books about prophecy. You see like books that say Aslanti culture and the secrets of prophecy. You see books that amount to essentially prophecies for dummies.
It was foretold that you would read this book.
And you find one in particular, chaos gods and their corruption of faith. Which draws your eyes especially because you've been dealing with a lot of Lamashtu worship.
It's
And the
actually a
best
step-by-step guide on how to refine oil.
and the
Very
best you
valuable.
find of a prophecy revolving Asimar and like 3 of them or anything like that, you do find some notice about a prophecy dating back that Lamashtu would seek to corrupt, or not even like, just chaos in general would seek to corrupt 3 pure children in the hope of essentially changing power dynamic of the divine and the whole mess of it. But you do know, like, with your knowledge of religion and the and like the background of being raised in a church, you know prophecies themselves are taken with a very big grain of salt nowadays, as most of them are hodunk, and the ones that aren't are just so seemingly coincidental. It doesn't seem like it's a prophecy, more as just like snake oil salesman kind of situation. Though you imagine if a god is keen enough to try to force a prophecy to happen, that could happen as well. So you could kind of piece together, maybe Lamashtu kind of piece together there might be some connection to this old prophecy and Nualia. Though you don't have really any recollection of the 3rd one. They seem to have gone missing. The prophecy, again, it might be just more they're trying to fulfill the prophecy of their own volition rather than actually let a prophecy happen,
Right.
but you don't know any evidence of what would happen with it other than it's supposed to shake up something with the divine.
Okay. Good to know.
So second day passes, retraining and all that.
I would like to say this could definitely be like a part of the retraining, but after that conversation with Mama Blackclaw, Gork becomes invigorated to try to whip this group into shape. So definitely he goes immediately downstairs and just fully like Falcon kicks the door open. And he's determined to drag everyone out into the woods for a training montage. I just yank everyone to a river. I'm like, all right, catch a fish with your hand. Let's go. Strength, reflexes, observation. Work on it.
Cue the soundtrack to Mulan.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll make a bear out of you yet.
I was gonna say Reese has no problem catching fish with her bare hands.
Yeah, probably Reese is the only one I don't really involve in this because
Wizard hands.
She hears about fish and goes along anyway.
Walk up to her, immediately collide into the wall of force that she went to the library in half. I'm like, okay, well that's a lost cause.
Emanuel refuses to get in the river. Don't know what Pledrum and Afixa would do.
I would fully grab Emanuel by the scruff of his neck and his belt and just throw him into the river, which would cause problems in and of itself. But you've got to
climbs on top of the boulder that is SS.
I'm providing the musical backing track, of course.
Of course.
Fix will go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know you're the
out of
best
curiosity,
around?
roll me a survival, Afixa. Let's see how good you are catching fish.
All right.
I looked into it. There's no retraining I want to do. So
If you get a natural 20, it's gonna be like a fucking Disney princess moment. Yeah, not quite. You're able to catch a fish, but it's very small.
Okay.
I imagine it's like a big. You reach out and you grab like a big fish, but since you're a tiny gnome, it just drags you through the water.
I was half expecting Afixa to get a natural 20, just be like, ah, and just the fish just leaps into her hands.
Mm-hmm. And then I would just punch her. I'm like, that's not how we do it here.
Can I roll handle animal to try to get the fish to come to me?
Yeah. Emanuel
No hands, catch it in the mouth.
Emanuel's just catching them and stuffing them in SS's mouth.
You just hear Gork like, well, it's not cooked, but they're still good fish.
Wait, Gork?
Like Gork hears it. You probably do too, because you can understand your animal companion fully all the time now, can't you? At this level. So.
Yep. Next exercise after I make people try to catch fish is just I say, wait here, and I wander in the woods. Then I come running back in, and I just toss a beehive into someone's hands, and I run away. I'm like, run! And then just a swarm of bees coming. Gotta work on your speed and endurance.
So yeah, after that horrendous day for Emanuel, probably. Eventually we get into day 3, but before we get into the research of it, I should probably ask, would this probably be around the time that there might be a subject broached about, goals and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
As a couple of you are newer and kind of been going with the flow so far.
Yeah. Probably.
So leave that up to you.
Back in the library.
Yeah, so what's the rest of the story?
You cut all the way
He
out.
just stepped backwards.
He said
into
as he
hole
left
again.
the room.
Well, before you start talking, give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and take a bio break.
Yeah, that's a good idea. They're back.
How much do wizards charge to cast a spell, like make whole?
Depends on the skill. Less than a scroll, I believe, but
They know it.
mhm.
Caster level
That's
times
rough.
spell level times 2.
Scrolls.
Also, I heard what you said, Cope. You're gonna mutate Jumbo's bear friend. Evolved companion.
Yeah, he's got after this training montage, Gombo's brother is now a aberrant celestial dire totem bull evolved bear. So, yeah, he's a little different now. Kind of like his mom. And Gork.
I mean, he could have had the holographic foil.
I'm back.
Talking about how Emanuel's given Combo's brother a bunch of drugs and now he's mutated.
Working out how much beefing up the dam will cost. And I've got the stone shape and stone wall to kind of repair it and change the layout a bit. But other stuff, like installing a door, if I say use stone shape to turn that, what was it, an Etten that we ran into
Yeah.
in the first bit of that, change that area into more of a guardhouse and the stairs less treacherous, maybe into a longer ramp. Would require a door of some sort to be installed, since stone shape
So,
explicitly
are we-
says moving parts probably don't work.
Yeah.
Are we fueling up and training our future big bad guy in Rish?
Depends on how malicious she gets. And who knows what Kenneth wants to send at us later on and when he runs a campaign. Are you still planning on doing the second darkness guy?
Yeah, I need to actually do something. Once we're done with this one, I'll probably start setting up maps and stuff, since we then still have Crimson Throne to get through.
Oh yeah. It's not anytime soon, I was just asking. I plan on doing Legacy of Fire when we get to that one, so. And then after that, we'll finally be out of the one to 3.5 that we have to convert.
Mhm.
I would request we use the same character sheet as this one, by the way, just because it's really easy to add things to. I have too much trouble with the other one, so I just have to. If we use that one, I just have to use Myth Weavers and make macros.
Be a
Make it
nice
harder to
feature if
buff.
they let you use more than one character sheet type.
Yeah. Like the
And
NPC
now
one,
that
this one's not that great, so.
Now that we've parsed the buffs on this one, right, it works about the same, but
Yeah. It's just, for me, it's a lot easier for me to put buffs on in this one and like the conditions and stuff. Like every time I tried to use the other sheet, I could never get it set up right. Probably my own lack of competence.
Lack of
Just too good.
incompetence. Man, I would say my
So
greatest
modest.
weakness is my distinct lack of weaknesses.
Yes.
My perfection is so good, I'm just not relatable to the common people.
If I were to say I had one weakness, it'd be that I try too hard. I need to loosen up a little bit. I just throw myself into my work, you know.
You're hired.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the
Yeah.
first person that said that today.
Really?
27 interviews.
We would love to hire you for this entry-level position, but I see here on your resume you don't have 20 years of experience. Why is that?
Oh,
The thing that you're hiring more for was invented last year.
I understand that, but that's not really an excuse when you think about it.
but I'm part of the team that actually created it. Of course, I don't have 20 years in experience with it.
Mhm.
We came up with it last year.
And unfortunately, on the job application, one of the requirements that we had is you need to have written a film by Guillermo del Toro, and I don't see that.
I've heard those stupid requirements are usually because they want to hire someone specific, but they legally have to post the job.
Yeah, and also sometimes it's because the HR people don't actually know what the people would want. I've heard of some people, at least in the video game industry, where the HR people put out the thing and then someone gets hired, and all the people who actually do that job's like, oh my god, this fucking idiot.
So I had an experience like 14 years ago where I got to create my department because it was a new thing no one had ever done before, and I had done it, and we realized it got bigger and I needed like 10 people to help me. So I got to write the HR job application for it. And for 2 or 3 days after I sent it to them, they kept coming back to me and going, we'd suggest that you require this to be a little bit higher. But why? We find that the candidates you're going to get to apply are going to be below the requirement typically. And my direct response was, well, if you artificially inflate it and you're looking for someone who's lower, then yeah, those people know that and they're going to apply below. They're like, so you're not going to change it? Because we can't change it since you're the one in control. You're the ownership of the job position. And I was like, then no, I'm not going to change it, and stop calling me with questions like this. I put like 2 years of data entry as a requirement, and they wanted 5 years. And I was like, I don't want old people. I don't want anyone over 27, 28, 29. I want very young people. Because I was very young at that point. And I was like, I don't want anybody older than me working for me. And here's how I'm going to fix that.
I've been in data entry for years.
Yeah, but see, you have to turn your screen on now. It's not just a typewriter.
In my day, we'd enter the data and then they'd take it off and do all the finagling with it.
Hey, golly, when did they take away the stone tablets?
Where's my abacus?
In my day, data entry meant the boss was angry at you and he'd rolled up the sheet of paper and shoved it up your bum hole. You had to waddle to the bathroom uphill.
Uphill both ways.
For my 2 forms of identification, I brought my passport from Pangea.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of me next to these fine Roman boys. Grandma, those aren't Italians. Grandma, how old is this picture?
That Caesar was a nice boy. He didn't deserve that. All he did was cross the river. Them senators was being obstinate.
Hashtag not my triumvirate.
Jeez.
I think that was a Yo Mama joke I heard once. Your mama so old that when God made the Big Bang, she called the police on him. But I think we're all back now. If
I
Richard's
don't
ready.
think we have the Richard.
How dare.
I was muted.
Mhm.
I kept trying to interject and try to get us back on track, but I was muted, so I didn't get a chance to say anything.
That's funny.
It is.
That's,
But yeah, whenever you guys are all ready to go, you can basically resume, trying to decide what you guys are doing while in between research stuff.
I need 10 days on the retraining.
That's fine. I just figured this would be like you guys are touching base with each other because a lot of you don't know what your next goal is, and some of you don't even know what the starting goal was.
Yep. Definitely gonna want to sit down this party. one of those things where it's like we got a table and there's the three of them on one side and Pledgrum and I on another side. I'm not sitting down. I'm standing weirdly, but still at the table. But it's because I'm a dwarf, I'm like at sitting height. You can picture it.
Yep.
Pull the Riker over the chair.
Mm.
Just slightly more impressive at dwarf height. You know who the Riker is, right?
Yeah.
It's where you come in from behind the chair for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, that's
sweep a
right.
leg over it.
The
And sit
leg
down.
over.
What do you call that?
The Riker. It's off Star Trek TNG.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Riker.
For whatever reason, whenever he sat down in the scene, he did that.
It was his
believe
thing. He started doing it once he got the
acting
beard.
Just sits down
Yeah.
in a weird way, is how I think it was.
Okay, you guys started talking about Star Trek, and I need to talk about this with someone. So I just went back and I
Oh,
watched
no.
the first episode, The Next Generation. Okay, and there's this scene where Riker first meets Captain Picard, and he's like, I can't believe they gave me a ship with children. And I'm like, at that moment, he says it. At that moment, does Riker have any reason not to believe Captain Picard is a pedophile? Because it's the first thing he says to him. For me around children, I can't believe they gave me a ship with children.
I suppose not.
Like that clip from that show, Smiling Friends, where the guy's like, I love kids, man! I love kids! It's like, I wouldn't be screaming that at the top
Hey,
of your lungs.
I wouldn't say that so loud.
I
I need
haven't
to
watched
watch
the
that
full
show.
episode, but I've seen clips, and it's already made an impression on me.
It is very good.
So segueing us back into the track as it is.
No,
Yeah.
don't post it.
Just posted what everything on the MISC valuables except the two things with question marks and the diamond dust would get us sold.
I slide a candle closer to the other three and say, all right, now talk.
Not the one to know.
Clearly
talking
something
about?
else is going on around here. What you guys are interested in before we got involved with ogre smashing.
Oh, yeah. We just kind of ended up on this path of, following all these tragedies taking place and started in Sandpoint and led us to where we are here. There definitely is some sort of overarching malevolent force. I mean, the one that talked and all. But it's looking like it's going to be a pretty globally impacting event, whatever is taking place.
Yes. Much same came Sandpoint looking for magic power and to master our own magic. Ended up helping in exchange for money, and kind of one thing led to another. End up stopping whatever plan they had for the dam, because that would have destroyed Scytheclaw tribe back in Mushfins too. Just sheer amount of water flowing down river. And now have new tribe set up in dam. But I'm still curious about all this. Yes, could be very bad.
Yeah, I'm following this thread until the end. I mean, not that I have too much to go back to.
Shinetooth over there keeps saying something about the recruiting for Homeland, but
I've been. Wait, am I in this conversation?
Yeah,
presumably he rounded everyone up.
Yeah, so it's around
I've
everything.
promised Malthun's help to more people than I care to remember in this area, and so I'm going to continue to provide that help until they don't need it anymore.
Though part of me likes to think that, there's been so much bear talk and just talk that he's kind of just been absent from me. That's why he's asking if we're referring to him.
Yeah.
So you got involved with this because of morbid curiosity?
More that, at least for me, I couldn't see the evil and violence taking place and not do something about it. Similar to, my home was attacked, so I defended it. And then murders taking place, figured that out to make my people safe, and then issues taking place, larger cities. So yeah, I'm just proactive about protecting people.
It's kind of like when your bear friends got taken. You felt compelled to act.
No, I understand that. Just don't take this the wrong way. But like, you three, you were the ones.
Well,
That
there's also
slew them.
Lucilla.
The ones that survived. Well, survived and, or at least didn't survive, but then was brought back.
And Goblin. And short while was another angry man like you, kind of, but good fighter.
angrier.
But no, I mentioned the guy that was going on the original
Yeah.
character that Michael got killed early on.
Was it Haldor?
No one
Yep.
is Haldor.
Taller, angrier, more bearded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was under my employ. I've had quite a few fall. It's just sad reality for a leader. You suffer through the first and second, maybe the third, but eventually you realize that if one of your employee go down, it's to save the lives of tens, dozens of other people.
Out of
It's
curiosity,
the burden of command.
wasn't the first group you were with killed to a man?
Oh yes, every single one of them was slaughtered brutally. I believe. I didn't see because I wasn't looking at them as I was tactically withdrawing.
I'm pretty sure they all died. I didn't count their screams as I was running away. I just imagine like a very posh British military officer. He's like, cheer up, my boy. After you order your 1,000 soldier to their death, you start getting numb to it. Just remember, they're pawns, so it's fine.
They are pawns, but it gets easier.
But you and Sing String help people, yes? No, with monies. Bedroom is now officially Sing Strings.
I was like, wait, he hadn't called me that yet.
No, you are Shine Tooth.
Ding,
What do you
ding,
make of
ding.
What do you make of this, Pledrum?
Pledrum, being a person that hears a lot of gossip, you've definitely heard of the ones who slew the Kraken, right? Or that stopped the giant invasion of Sandpoint?
And he was there.
He was there.
We were there for that one, Emanuel.
Oh.
That was us.
And so, case in point, I rest my case.
Well, whatever it is, it sounds like we don't have much of a choice.
You cut out again the choice, I think.
No, I'm just saying. Me and Gord probably don't have much of a choice, anyways. It seems like whatever army or whatever the fuck is coming after us is gonna be everyone's problem.
Give us a moment, and I like turn around and I pull Pledrum down. We do like a 2-person huddle with our backs to them. Okay, I like them well enough, Pledrum, but I genuinely think if we gave them a pine cone to plant a tree, they'd somehow set it on fire. And what we learned from this library and what Mama Blackhawk told me, this seems important, don't you think?
I agree.
Also, I'm pretty certain if we weren't here, they would have died at least 3 times by now.
Yeah, probably.
See it out to the end then.
That's what it sounds like.
If he gets my brother another hat, I'm gonna break his toes, though.
Think you said something about him being a celestial aberration.
Yeah, you have noticed over the past week of training that SS has gotten more nimble, can shift a lot more. He's glowing a little bit. His hair on the top of his head stands out more like the horns of a bull. There have been some changes.
Never thought I'd see the day where a dandy two legs just rides my brother around day and night.
I would say also also phrasing.
He's a bear. He walked into that one.
Yeah.
Go bareback.
And it's also probably awkward because Gork has to watch as Emanuel brushes him every night as part of the conditions for being his animal companion.
Animal companion, yeah. They kind of self-serve each other. It's very odd.
You hear Gork embarrassingly that your brother talks about how he needs to be brushed every day because he can't have knots anymore because that's just shameful.
Each individual hair is less than an inch long, you absolute ninny.
Emanuel pulls out a bottle and he's like, "This is Detangler. It is amazing. I'm about to change your life."
I imagine sometime during this downtime, Reach will do make hole on Emanuel's bow, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. It's only a second level spell for you.
Yeah, and I just got everything in the core rulebook, which I believe make hole is.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the core rulebook. It's a little harder to look up than on like Roll20 to look at all the spells, but I didn't want to just give you every spell at fucking 6 level below.
Insane.
But they did say that he had every spell in the core rulebook from 6th level and below, so.
I think that's pretty good.
I think that number keeps going higher every time you say it.
Let me go back and check, but I'm pretty sure I said 6th, but
And
I'll
it was
go
there
look at the
fifth
exact
at the
text.
start of the start of the session.
Yeah, you said
I
fifth
might have
earlier, but I thought it was 6 last session.
let me look, because I get kind of turned around.
Every spell 9th level or under, and
Okay.
3 10th level spells if you.
According to his stat splat in the book,
Yes, that's fine.
contains most of the spells in the core rulebook up to and including 6th level spells,
Cool.
with the exception of illusion magic. I didn't think I ever added that, but that's one of the stipulations.
Mm-hmm. That is an important stipulation because there's a lot of decent high level illusions.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say this once: abjuration magic is the best kind of magic.
it is one of the best ones for sure.
Mhm.
That and conjuration are probably the best too.
Oh, everyone likes to talk big about fireball. What if I just counterspell or anti-magic field you? Ooh.
Mhm.
Oh, I'll just make a hungry pit and you can fucking dig yourself out of that with a fireball.
Yeah.
But yeah, next day goes. This will be another day of research. Reese, the last thing you had listed was Zinshalast, so go ahead and roll me a knowledge history on that one as well.
Not the best, but still.
This one's a little bit lower, but you still learn quite a bit because there's that plus 30 to it.
Hey.
So yeah, Zinshalast, legendary lost city, rumored to be hidden somewhere in the Kodar Mountains. Stories hold that Zinshalast had golden streets and gemstone buildings, and sat under the gaze of a mountain that could see. It was the
What?
cap. It was under the gaze of a mountain that could see, like SEE. It was the capital city of an empire called Shalast, one of 7 that composed the ancient empire Thassalon. Legend holds that Zinshalast lay at the headwaters of the sacred river Ava, which Varisian folklore say leads to an earthly paradise sacred to Desna. Unfortunately, no record of where this river may have once flowed exists today, and most scholars believe the river itself to have been destroyed during Earthfall.
Yeah.
In the final centuries before Earthfall ended, Thassalon, before it ended, Thassalon, Sinchalis was ruled by Karzog, one of the lords of the Thassalonian Empire. The primary architects of the immense city were tribes of giants themselves ruled by powerful beings known as rune giants. And the spires of Sinchalis stand upon the mythical mountain of Mar Massif. The mountain of a legendary proportions pierces the skies above the Kodars, and is said to be the highest peak in the entire range of the stupendously inhospitable mountains.
Yeah, those sound very hospitable. But yes, if anything's going to
Well, they got
reshape
that
the
name.
rivers of an area, something called the Earthfall probably would.
It's at the bottom of the ocean, isn't it?
That would be
AP.
hilarious.
Don't worry, that AP's coming up eventually. There's always something at the bottom of the ocean in worlds like this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the extent you find out about Sinchalis. I think so. What else did you want to research? I know there was one more thing.
The rooms under Sandpoint, and if there's, she'd probably be spending a fair amount of time on that room that she's able to fly in.
So go ahead and roll me a knowledge history and a knowledge arcana. So knowledge history, looking through, you find more books with a bunch of different, in addition to the ones he found about Sinchalis, there's all kinds of books. There's tributes of Vadon with accountings and predictions, whispers from Lang, the Guide to the Beyond, Spires of Gold, the Rise of Sinchalis, and more and beside. But you do find one that talks about the Hellfire Flume, and that it was basically controlled by a command center underneath it. And that most likely there was 3 different floors that connected to the actual monument itself. And in terms of the floating room, that's probably simple enough to do even in the modern day, as long as you have a spellcaster who has spells that can be capable of doing something like that, and enough time, because it involves casting permanency, as with anti-gravity kind of stuff.
Okay.
But it is doable. I don't
So
have
that
the
was
spells
literally
listed.
just an ancient bouncy house.
It was a meditation chamber,
Like one of those sensory deprivation tanks.
pretty much, actually.
Good to know. She'll make notes of that.
Yep. Passing day 3. How many days is Emanuel and Afixa need to retrain, by the way?
10.
10? Emanuel? You had
10.
2, is that 10? Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So,
And I shall
Have another-
persuade them.
so if you have any more
Where are
research
we
or anything,
hanging
we
out?
have another 7 days worth of downtime for you guys to retrain and stuff. So just let me know.
During the
Emanuel
other
would like
days.
to,
Good. Go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say he needs to go on a shopping spree with Dos S's.
No worries. Yeah, he also Reach laid out the money I think you guys are going to get each after selling most of the valuables, which looks like 6,546 and 74 silver.
74 copper.
74 copper, sorry.
6. Okay, I'll just math that real quick.
Is that enough money to give us a level?
Ha 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 ha.
Wrong game.
Ah,
Doing it rules as written, man.
It's all good.
I like it.
It's a different experience.
Yeah, it's an interesting system that I've been enjoying.
But yeah, so if there's no other research or in terms of shopping, you guys can do that.
Fix will actually probably start making plans for Foxglove Manor and turning it into a tavern.
No worries.
How much would some bark skin potions run me?
I believe those are first level spells, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah. Because those were really helpful in the last dungeon crawling. So if I have a bunch of money, that's a good thing to load up on.
Level 2, but the bonus is dependent on the spellcaster level.
So whatever the minimum spellcaster is for the spell, because if you're just gonna go buy them, it'll be.
Yeah, because
You
according
said
to
second level.
Let me pull this calculator.
Because
Right?
Yeah,
according to the
I just put it up.
according to the potion stat I have here, it's plus 5 AC, 120 minutes. That's what I
Okay,
have.
So
Here it is.
that means
Second,
that's a
I'm on the
12th level caster.
Well, no, I'm on a potions thing on the D20. Barkskin's listed. It's 300 gold per potion.
Okay.
Yep, 300.
But that would just be a
Finally
plus
pulled
2
up that.
bonus.
Yeah, that'll just be the basic Barkskin potion minimum.
Okay.
cast
You want
level.
the next effective level, which is possible to be 600.
Well, I don't
Caster
need
level.
the 600 ones. How long's the basic level ones work? I want to just make sure I get that right.
So it'll
30
last,
minutes is
yeah.
third level casting.
So it's okay. So
and then it'll just be the +2. It won't get anything beyond +2 for the enhancement bonus.
got it. So if I wanted the plus 5, I would need to pay 600 per.
No,
Yeah.
that'd be
That'd
plus
be a lot more.
You want
Okay.
to do the +5.
I don't
It
have.
requires 12 level.
Yeah,
I think you found it.
That's
Yeah.
probably what it was.
yeah, it'd be 1,200 for the +5.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll just do the basic ones then. Plus 2 is still better than nothing.
Yeah.
And you said 300 per.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. That's all I need.
Yeah.
So I
if
remember
anything-
I got a
Um,
ring of furious action last session too, which is pretty good.
while you're basically on day 4, the keep itself has been fairly quiet. Like when you come to and from, because I imagine you have to go outside occasionally. But one thing that doesn't stop even after like almost all the giants have departed is when you get into the first level of the cave system, you still hear this metallic tinging against metal, like ping, ping,
Hmm.
just continuous. Like occasionally stops, but it is a rhythmic kind of thing.
Might be worth
Does it
looking
sound
into
like
that.
the forge?
It does sound like a forge.
I think we can check that out.
You go across. It's right next to where the bed chambers were for the stone giants. And you look into this chamber and you see this massive giant, but you see 2 ogres beside him. They kind of see you and they look like they're about to reach for weapons. And you hear the giant that's kind of hammering on this giant anvil is like, "You draw weapons in my smithy. I'm gonna kill you first." And he continues ping, ping. The ogre kind of just look at each other awkwardly before putting their weapons back down and going to sit back with their whatever drink they have.
Excellent. Due to a loophole, that means I can beat them to death.
Yeah, the guy turns to you all. You see his skin is like not like tan, but like somewhere between tan and like drow skin tones. He's like, "I imagine you're the one to dispatch my benefactor. Nice to meet you."
Afraid so, but were you just the one tending to the weapons here?
Yes, I am the blacksmith here. My given name is Ironblood.
I'm Emanuel Depardieu of Mothin, and these are my companions.
I'm not going to remember any of that.
Fix to go ahead and pop detect evil.
He doesn't detect as evil. The ogres do, but he doesn't.
Okay.
Well, since I'm out of work, I'm just going to keep my smithy going. But if you have anything you need crafted, I'm fairly handy at making things.
Oh, have you ever made armor for a giant grizzly bear?
No, but I've made one for a giant spider. I can't imagine it's that much different. Just reduce the amount of legs.
Do you do
True.
magical crafting too, or is it strictly?
I can make some magical armors and weapons. provide the materials. I can make them for cost as well. I just enjoy my work. That being said, if you have any like magical enhancements you want to put on weapons, he can do it at cost of crafting rather than cost of buying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
See that, man.
He can only do armors and weapons though. He can't do wondrous items of any kind. Like amulets or like stuff. He like uses like a natural weapon stuff. He can't do like he could probably modify hand wraps or something, but
Yeah, that's what I was looking up because that's the only thing I have.
yeah.
Well, then I'd definitely commission him to make an armor for Dos Cesses.
You'd be able to get that done by the time you're gone.
Did
I'll
anybody
say he could probably make like 3 things during the downtime you have. So
we
that'll
do
be
have several magical weapons that if anybody wants to have transferred to one of yours. Because I mean that
yeah, he'll do that
Options.
free of. He will actually do that free of cost, but remember he only has time to do 2 more
Yeah.
things.
yeah.
What effects do we have?
Let's see, we have frost, flaming, defending, siege.
Remember they can only be transferred to like items, so like a
Yeah.
dagger can't be transferred into like a great sword.
Well, we do
There
have a
is
flaming
another
bastard
one.
sword and a
Yeah.
flaming dagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of these help my hand wraps.
Um,
You also have rune chill hatchets that are magical hatchets that are specialized, but if you have a weapon similar to hatchets in terms of weapon category, I'll allow you to move the specialty to a different one.
And
We do have defending spell storing. That's in a club, but
Yeah, the defending and spell storing, provided it has room on it, could probably be put into like another weapon that's in the club category. I'd have to go look at fighters to make sure what they are. But that might be able to go
Nice.
on the far spear.
Well, spears are. I mean, I guess if you want to use tribal, that has
Yeah,
spear.
as long as they're all in a same category of weaponry,
Mhm.
I allow it.
Yeah, because technically defending, you don't have to be actively using it to get the AC bonus from it. But I don't have any +1 enchantments on it because they're all on my hand wraps. And spell storing is not as good because I don't have spells.
I mean, at this level, don't you have to have 2 weapons for automatic bonus progression? Because I thought it splits at certain points where you have to have 2, 2, 1, 1.
Did it? Let me check.
Oh no, that's
It-
next level.
We're not
Yeah,
there
that's
yet.
what I thought. So
But at next
I
level,
guess,
you'll have 2 weapons with attunements on them.
I guess I'll look at see what new enchantments, but it
+3.
doesn't look like any transfers are gonna work.
by the way, has anybody claimed the fog cutting lenses, or would they be opposed if I snagged them?
Go ahead.
I think that's a no and a no. I mean, if no one's claimed something, shout it out and it's yours. My opinion. Because when something's obvious, like the rune robes, obviously Emanuel's going to have those.
I'm honestly surprised no one's equipped that Ring of the Ram.
What does that do?
You can basically make a concussive strike against somebody to knock them the fuck out.
it's basically a wand of bull rush. Does a little bit more than that, but
It does a little bit of damage, but you can also treat it as a 50-foot ranged attack. It has 3 charges, so I thought like maybe Gork might want it or something because it gives you a ranged option.
Well, the Far Spear gives me a ranged option. I have a Ring of Furious action and a Ring of Force Fang already, and I think it's maximum 2
yeah, it's 2.
rings.
2, yeah. What about Rish? You want that Ring of the Ram?
yeah, probably.
Could
It
always
would
give it
be
to your
useful,
companion. Could always give it to Esses.
No, he has some rings he really likes.
Oh yeah, by the way, Reese, during this
Mhm.
whole downtime, can you roll me a survival check?
Okay.
Because you still had that preserved dragon corpse you wanted to harvest.
Mhm.
I was looking at the party loot and I forgot about that.
Survival to detect
Mhm.
poison nowadays kills you. Roll new character.
Roll them, but I feel like we.
Because you got, I don't think you ever got anything out of it. So go ahead and roll me 3d10. Okay, you're able to get 2,300 gold worth of materials off of it you can sell.
Yeah, that's a nice little windfall.
All right, Richard, I've got a question for you here, and I want you to go with me on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
But Dos Equis really likes to wear flowing garments like a cape or a sash. Could he wear a defending bladed scarf and activate its AC bonus as a free action while not using it because he's just whipping around so beautifully?
I think it has to have. I think the scarf has to have an enhancement bonus on weapons to do it.
I'm just looking at our party loot. We have a +1 defending bladed scarf.
Yeah. Well, the +1s don't exist like that. You have to pay for it for an animal companion. Like if you wanted to use your use some money and get it to like a +1 for him, I'll allow that to not actually use it as a weapon, but to add to his AC. Because your automatic progression doesn't work for your animal companions, and so I treat all weapons as not actually having a +1 or a +2 or whatever.
Oh,
but if you want to pay for like a +1 or a +2 on that, and then give it to him to use, I'll allow that.
Are y'all cool with me taking that?
Sure.
Because that's just ridiculous to dress your bear up in.
And I will 100% allow him to use the defending action to up his AC with that. That is hilarious.
A huge pilot scarf.
Yeah, I think
I think
I've
Yeah, the +1s there was just me noting that that's what the effect is cost-wise.
Well, since he's not going to attack with it, will you let me add bonuses to it as if it's armor, since that's so much cheaper than weapons?
Sure.
You're sexy.
Let me see how much I have. Would he be able to put a holy enchantment on my scimitar?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be the 3 things you can do then for this downtime.
Okay.
Is the holy on your scimitar, the enchantment on the bladed scarf, and then the armor for the bear. But he can do those all at cost, so.
Hell yeah.
So that reduces the price.
So basically to crafting costs, so half
Okay.
of whatever the sell price is.
Okay. Okay. And did we want to sell off the weapons that we aren't using otherwise? The Flame Bastard Sword.
Yeah, I think now's the time to do it because
honestly, if you're getting a new character coming in, they're probably going to come with their own gear anyway.
Yeah, and like Richard said, this might be our last downtime.
There's like a good 70% chance that this is going to be your last downtime. Because once you end book 5, it pretty much rushes into book 6.
I'd say let's do it.
Yeah.
Reese, you want more money?
Kind of, but at the same time, I'm sitting on yes.
Yes,
I'm
but
ready.
also yes.
I'm ready for plot.
Like
Yeah,
you
we
can do
can
this off
figure that.
like we can just say you guys go
Yeah.
shopping so you can sell this stuff and buy things.
Could somebody
before
loan
next
me
session.
700 gold pieces?
Sure, I guess.
All right. I'll pay you back when we split up the other stuff, but that way I don't feel like I'm cheating.
I don't care. I don't use money for much because I don't use equipment much.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I've natural defenses and natural attacks. I have very minimal use for money.
yeah, and I haven't subscribed quite as many scrolls as I thought I would. But yeah, if we want to get into plot-like devices.
By the way, the word I'm trying to say, cope.
Yes.
I know you have that cestus that's not magical, but if you wanted, you could put that rune chill hatchet enchant ability on that.
Oh hell yeah. I'll have to look at what that does, but yeah. And you said that's free to transfer?
Yeah, I'll let you transfer that for free. I'll just give that one to you for extra. They're technically unique weapons, but no one's ever going to use those ones, and it basically gives extra negative energy damage and possible strength damage if they fail with a really low fortitude save.
Gotcha.
Just some little flavor. So it'll be the rune chill cestus.
And on one of the last trips to Magnamar or wherever, Fix will want to get into talks about restoring Foxglove Manor, but we could do that as an aside.
Yeah. You have the deed, so anything you want to do with that, you could just message me and we can add that to the like things you did. Plus, we can just add it to like the post game, like what are they doing now, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Fix would bring that up in a conversation too of, we have this property. I kind of like the notion of turning it into just a Wayfarer Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people were murdered there? I'm joking. I'm a bear person. I don't care.
I was gonna say, you say it's like every tavern in Galarian hasn't had at least 1 or 2 deaths.
Hey. The site has been cleansed.
That's part of the appeal.
All right, I want the construction crews to move in 3 toilets, 10 cans of paint, and a bucket of cocaine. We'll get this thing up and running in no time.
Shopping aside, since I'm going to let you guys kind of take care of that off camera stuff, because we can just say, oh, when we did this, I bought this stuff. As long as you tell me before next session, I'm fine with it. Sometimes it takes a while to find what you want.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to spend a good amount of your money because it's probably going to be a while before you can spend it again.
All right, you challenged me. In between sessions, I'll find the stupidest thing to blow a large amount of money on.
I mean, you can. I'm not enforcing you to, like, if you want to save money and then, because there's not going to be like no options to shop after this downtime. But you're not going to have time for like downtime retraining is really what I meant.
Gort buys the zoo and lets all the animals free.
No. I buy one of those animated portraits that make sounds, because that's a thing, but it's just of a bear, and I'm like, here you go, Fixa, put this in your tavern. We just smash cut to 2 years later, a bunch of people sitting around, it's just a bear picture going at all hours of the day.
Worth it.
No, you see, you put that in the drunk tank of the house, and let them try to sleep that off.
Yep.
So yeah, any other research people want to do before the retraining's up?
Nothing springs to mind.
Gotcha. So what do you all want to do after the training then? Because you spend the 10 days, you get back up to ship shape, probably rest. A lot of it was, in addition to training, was also resting from the slog of going through that many giants. I mean, at the very least, Gorson's going to have to pick his nails clean so they don't get dull.
I just scratch the shit out of trees.
So where you all want to go?
Push them down and start throwing it at Fix and Emanuel to help with their training.
At some point, probably end up in Magnamar looking for more stuff. But
there was mention in, what was the map?
Yeah, we gotta check in on the map. I know it's circled.
Yeah, Sandpoint was circled.
Yeah, Sandpoint's circled. Riddleport's up there, but I think that's just part of the
Actually, as part of
drawing.
research, do we want to see if there's any significance to the X's? If the library. has any
You did
information?
some research already. Those are probably former areas of those hellstorm flumes.
Okay.
Telling you, underwater.
Yeah, we should probably visit Sandpoint and investigate firsthand,
Mhm.
since apparently that's what the lighthouse actually was. If I remember right.
Yep.
Have 100% been trying to get Affix and Emanuel, our two Dex-based characters, to try to lift some trees. Get some muscle on those arms.
I could almost lift this sapling. Look.
You need more protein. Eat this raw fish. Pure protein diet.
So where are you guys? You're going to teleport to Sandpoint? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I
Yep,
suppose
sounds
if we're
like
gonna
it, yeah.
investigate.
Gotcha. So where do you teleport when you go there?
Probably the church.
Okay, go ahead and give me that D100.
Nice big building.
I think you have to really roll bad to get into bad territory, so
18.
you're fine. I'm just gonna Google the spell real quick. Very familiar on target. Yeah, you're good. You've been there quite a few times. Yeah, you teleport and you're in the middle entry hall area. All the acolytes turn and gasp as a bunch of people and a giant bear that's probably had been shrunk down.
Fix would have struck a pose before they teleported, so they arrived, and she's in this epic pose.
I'm
Well
fully
played,
scratching my
Affix.
butt, not knowing that the spell was about to go off.
Yeah, as you all arrive, they're like, oh shit. Like, they're about to swear, and then they kind of stop themselves and do, like, the Hail Mary thing of their deity.
Mhm.
They're like,
We are here to speak to Father Xanthus.
thank the gods. We thought we were going to have to spring for some money to contact you all. Yes, please. Father Xanthus, he's at the mayor's home. Please, come with us. And she begins to lead you out immediately out of the church to try to lead you towards the mayor's house / town hall.
Okay.
As you go out, you see some people seeing you. You see them wave and be like, "They're back!" And they're all excited to see you. Quite a few of them are still taken aback by Gork's gruff personality last time you guys were here.
Mhm.
But that's not enough to discourage. They're like, "Oh, hey, the people who saved us, like, how many times are back?"
Mm.
Even if they're not all the same, a couple of them are.
We recognize Rish and Emanuel.
I am Gork the Orphan Puncher.
What you do notice as you're making your way to the town hall is right to the north of the barracks, which also functions as the police station.
Oh no, it's a black screen.
I know. Give me a second. For some reason, the dynamic lighting stayed on this. For some reason, there we go. So right here is the town hall. Right here, this is the barracks. Swallowing one of these houses and part of the wall of this barracks is just a massive sinkhole that has been roped off. It's about 30 feet across from end to end.
Anyone fall in?
Yeah, that's what Father Xanthus and Mayor Deverin and Sheriff Bellor wanted to talk to you about. They were about to hire somebody to perform a sending spell, but Providence, you arrived just in time. Please come.
What, you want me to go down there and punch the underside of it to make it rise back up or something?
Wait, can you do that?
Shrug. Never tried.
All right.
Excuse me. You'd get taken into the town hall, and they just take you right into the mayor's office without having to wait or anything. This isn't Magnamar. There isn't that pompous governor guy.
Are we still deputies here?
Kinda, yeah. At least you two
Okay.
are. You and
Okay.
Reefs. But as you enter, you see the three of them. You see Father Xantus, Sheriff Bellor Hemlock, and Mayor Kendra Deverin. The sheriff and mayor both have deep bags under their eyes, like they haven't slept right in weeks. You see Father Xantus isn't that much better off, and he sees you all. Excuse me, hold on, I have to mute myself and cough.
Yep, get it out.
Anyway, when you arrive, he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be back. Did you find out what was happening with those giants?"
Yeah, they were convening at a fortress, and we broke their leader and what unification they had.
A few
I imagine
dragons, hundreds of giants. It was pretty deep.
I imagine you give him the general rundown, maybe not in everything in detail, but he went there, found people trying to lead a giant rebellion onto the humanity, and all that, and all that jazz. And their eyes are bagged, but they go wide whenever you talk about all the giants that you saw. Father Xantus clears his throat after that awkward silence after you finish telling them what happened. Well, while we were again unconscionable amount of gratitude we owe you for saving us yet again, and probably more than just us based on what you were talking about. And I'd love to have you just sit back and relax for a day. We have some problems I think you probably witnessed on your walk here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't walk anymore.
The big hole.
Yeah, about, she thinks back, 10 days ago now, the ground just collapsed north of the garrison, right in the middle of the Tower Street. The north wall took some damage, and one of the houses took some damage, but luckily there was no one home, and the cells that were adjacent to the wall there were empty at the time, so no one was seriously hurt. At least when the sinkhole appeared. It's not really the case anymore. The sheriff kind of takes over for after Father Xantus kind of paused. Is like, yes, I sent some guards in to investigate the pit, and they never returned. And now every night we hear something horrible down there, almost like dogs howling, but worse than I've ever heard before. Almost like blood-curdling screams. And blood-curdling screams from what sounds like a person. I've roped off the sinkhole, and nothing's come up out of it. But the sounds are louder every night. And whatever's trapped in there, or whatever is in there, is probably going to come out, and doesn't sound like it's going to be too friendly.
Do you have any significant prisoners?
No, we don't have that much crime right now at the moment. The most we have here is the occasional drunk who gets a little too rowdy and has to be put in the cell for a couple days.
Yeah,
Where were those stairs that led underground?
we're under the glassworks, I think. If that's the one you're talking about.
Yes. We did notice that partway down that there was a path uncovered that we imagine probably connects to those caves you found before. We only know as we saw an open door with some stuff floating in it, and it corresponds with what our departed Afixa told us.
Departed Afixa?
Yeah, God rest her soul.
Yeah, the only one she told was Father Xantus, and he hasn't told anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
No, that's what Gork says out
Yeah.
loud.
And Emanuel as well. God rest her soul.
Very dramatic about that whole thing, aren't they?
Well, could investigate, although used a lot of magic in project of my own. Mechanically, I'm saying I'm used to almost all of my 5th and all my 4th level spells, redecorating the dam and repairing it with stone shape and wall of stone. I've got 1 teleport to take us back wherever we want to go. I got everything other than those levels ready, but
Amico could let you stay at the Rusty Dragon until tomorrow morning. It probably isn't best to go during the night. It seems to be that's whatever the sounds of what's coming up are the most active during those times. So maybe
That's the perfect time.
But if you could investigate, we would appreciate it. If the guards never came back, I don't really know what we could do. We could, I guess, hire some people for Magnamar, but
No.
anyone as strong as you would be more than our price range.
I'll certainly do it, even if my companions don't.
Q affixes puppy dog eyes as she looks back at all of you.
You
Right.
can always count on your
Don't
friends.
need-
would
Boards
be
we're gonna
nice.
Did someone just do like a little toot on the microphone?
What am I listening to? Please tell me that actually happened in the scene.
You heard all the like.
Yep. We're just like saying, of
It was
course
like-
we'll do it. And suddenly Pleasure just starts making tight little toots.
I was gonna say the mayor kind of coughs like, "Oh, excuse me, it's been a long day."
Did that come from me?
I
There
don't
was
know.
some squeaking noise and Skype lighted up your icon, but
It might have been my chair, but then it was picking up a very quiet noise.
It just sounded like a very mild, like long squeak.
It's like when somebody does their lips together and just does the.
kind of, yeah.
Like somebody was sitting in the back of the group thinking and was just like, I don't know.
Your wish is you can rest for the day. The Rusty Dragon still has the long-standing offer to let you room and board for free.
I pick up a fixer and I throw in the hole right now.
Don't worry, I got this. A week later, she comes up covered in blood that's not her own.
Yep. Remember, if you need help, just scream.
Okay. You make your way back to the Rusty Dragon. You're immediately accosted by Amico, who begins playing a round of songs and tells everybody that you're here and goes outside like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the heroes are here," and begins to play her fiddle and begins to draw a crowd. Like, yeah, this is your payment. Deal with it. And she just begins to draw a crowd that comes and begins to accost you all, except for Gork, who has sufficiently cowed the townsfolk.
Yeah, last time they tried to crowd around me Yahoo Dory style, I started lashing out.
Emanuel pushes some aside. Make room for everyone to touch me.
Hooray, Gorku.
Then it's a nice night. The food is what you remember. It's not like the best in the world, but it's tasty. It's kind of reminds a lot of people of home kind of style. Maybe not Gork, because his home style is raw fish.
Mm-hmm. Raw fish and honey, my friend. Nothing but protein and sugars for this growing boy.
Man, Gork needs some fiber.
Gonna introduce
That's why he's
Dos
so
SS.
angry, so backed up.
Playing us a little ballad here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Gonna,
everyone.
sit Dos S's down at a table, move all the chairs away, have him sit like floppy bear style, and leaning over the table, and just feed him all of the foods.
Yeah, you see him take both his bare paws and kind of slap him across one of the metal keg or tankard and actually drink from it.
You
And
guys,
everyone is fascinated by this bear, by the way.
you guys
Lean over to Emanuel. That's going to give him the runs, so you know.
What'd you say, Michael?
Pledger singing sort of like normal folk songs, but then he'll ad-lib in parts from our adventure.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you get to the non-ad-libbed parts and stuff, you do see quite a few Parisian folk kind of singing along with because they know similar tunes and stuff. But when you get to the ad lib, then they kind of stumble over the words and then kind of listen and try to basically pick up a chorus or stomp their feet.
Mm.
Because a lot of people in this town are from Parisian descent.
Mhm.
Like, I would say probably a good 70% of the humans here. But yeah, the night carries on. You get to sleep. Next day rises. Everyone's ready to get jacked and swole and memorize spells.
Might actually have gone and investigated in the night with Gork. Okay, let's see what the whole sounds are.
All right.
So you get to the hole. It's around midnight, and you do begin to hear a sound. It's a little hard to pick up until you get towards the edge of the hole. I need you both to roll me will saves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least now we know something about the hole.
19.
Both of you are panicked and immediately have to run away from the hole as you hear the bane of Yeth hounds.
Mm.
As you both have fought those and you both know what they are. And it terrified you because of their iconic bane.
At the end of the session, I can spend a hero point to reroll for vanity.
You just agreed not to tell anybody.
Look at each other. Not a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Not a soul, or I'll put you in the fucking ground. All right. So now we know what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
I say we just
It's
start
some
putting
of it.
trees in there until it stops.
Might work, but might not work too.
But yeah, you do also hear, like, when you eventually start coming down from the panic and you're able to get closer to it again, there is definitely a humanoid voice screaming from down below as well.
Mm.
It is bestial and feral sounding almost, but at the same time, it sounds like blood curdling.
Nothing intelligible then, I guess.
No, it just sounds like fractured screaming.
Think could be guards?
Maybe.
You've had
Can
a
you
spell
tell
ready.
what language they're screaming in?
Mm.
Just screaming and
It doesn't sound avian in origin, so that narrows it down. Yep. It's a bad hole.
Mm-hmm. And have to go into it in the morning. Suppose should get dressed.
Yep. Walk back to the tavern, kick open the door, and announce with authority, it's a bad hole. Just yell that. That's how the entire room hears. Interrupts the song. Everyone goes quiet. It's a bad hole.
From somewhere in the room. Who'd you hook up with?
Yep. All of a sudden, Pledrum turns into a he like gets really bassy with his lute and just starts singing about a bad hole.
Mm-hmm. Listen, it's just a really bad hole. It's just deep. It's frightening, and it's full of screaming.
Oh dear.
I would like to say I think Cope and that irreparably damaged the discourse of this group, at least for me, with Nasarima's innuendo.
And yet I was the one this time who held back and didn't say a thing. That's why I've tried to switch completely over to Emanuel, who is asexual to this point.
So yeah, next day, I imagine you're going down the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Down the hole.
Yep.
Down the hole.
out the phantom steeds if we want to fly down the hole.
I will say, when you look at the sinkhole, it was only about 15 feet deep.
All right, who's about thrown in first?
Emanuel jumps on Dos Esses and we levitate down.
All right, if I don't get a volunteer, I'll just start choosing people.
Sorry, I stepped away for a sec. What's being chosen?
I said,
He
all
just
right,
threw-
who am I throwing into the hole first? If I don't get a volunteer, I'm going to just start choosing people.
I'll go if you need me to.
Well, I haven't had a chance to test out this featherfall charm yet. So.
That's a volunteer. Grab the lizard, just full force throw.
And you fall 15 feet down, and if the charm activates, it is a feather fall.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there is a small opening on the side of the pit. It looks like it opens up into a stairwell.
These stairs down here.
Did you tell us what that was down here? Yes, dogs.
Yes, hounds.
Yeah, I imagine we would have shared that.
Mm-hmm.
And can we do protection from evil? Does that prevent getting scared?
I don't think
That
so.
is-
I think it's a mind affecting thing.
Charm effects. Yeah, possess or
charm
mental
effect.
control.
All right.
Yeah, so I don't think it affects fear effects, but
Stay near Fix.
so yeah, you make your way down. You see the stairwell, and you begin to see some familiar sights. You find this like little fountain that still has a little bit of running water in it. You remember you fought the headless creature when you first came down into the catacombs after rescuing Amiko from her brother.
Manuel's recounting our events to those who weren't with us
Yeah.
about how glorious the battles were, and
Including Afixa.
You see some markers left by the guards, and you kind of follow it northward towards the little catwalk that had the sin spawn that you fought. Around the right, you pass by those pits that had the skeletons just kind of jammed in there with like wooden coverings on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you eventually come to the intersection of the stairwell that was blocked off going down and the levitation room.
Hmm.
And the stairwell going down that was blocked off previously is now completely clear.
I imagine Fix is going to want to show everybody the levitation room with all the joy it brings her.
She would kind of bring up, do we have a side minute for me to show you this awesome room?
Well, we did hear screaming coming from the hole that was possibly the guards being eaten by hounds, but yeah, I guess we can spare a moment. I mean, they've been down there for like...
We'll get it on the way back.
It's been 2 days. They're
Fast forward
probably
to
dead
everybody
already.
tumbling in it like, oh my god, this is so much fun.
You'll hit
What?
on the way
Oh
back.
man, we got distracted. How long has it been?
I will say, Emanuel, it is too small for the bear to fit under, even reducing him to large. It is a human-made stairwell.
Oh, poor guy.
You'll have to turn into a statue.
Luckily, he has, being aberrant, he has the compression ability. So he
Oh,
can
there you
fit-
go.
He can fit into
God.
1/8 of space, 1/8 of the size.
I'm kind of curious how.
So you all
how
start going
reacts to that.
down before you hear a sound in the back, and you see the bear look like he can't fit. And
Gashunk.
someone's about to be like, "Oh, too bad," and then all of a sudden you see his form just kind of squeeze and wiggle and fits in a position that no bear should be able in their right mind to fit. It looks like his bones are made of rubber. You know, he just begins to walk down, like kind of adjusting to the stairs as he walks.
Things that
Hey,
made
Gambo, can you describe Gork's expression at the site?
Let's see. It's part surprise, but also a good chunk just kind of disappointed. The things Emanuel is doing to my brother.
I'm just picturing later on, he goes up and smacks the hat off and goes, "You were once a bear!"
That's basically it, yeah.
So I will bring you to a new map. As you come down to like what looks like it'll be a dead end. As you get down to the bottom, you can't quite actually hit the floor, as you see just thick webs that clog the stairs. Visible here and there through gaps of the unusually thick webbing are deep scratches along the walls and floors, along with the absence of mold or mildew suggests the stairway was recently cleared.
Yeah, we could try to cut them or set them on fire or any sort of things.
Is dark vision applied to my character? Because I'm only seeing 5 foot all the way around. And
It's because we're in an extremely small area.
Yeah, it's a small area. It's a little buggy.
okay, just want to make sure.
You can always put yourself in the center of the stairway. You should be able to see all of it.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm still only able to see like 5 feet immediately around.
I'll work on that while we're doing this stuff, though.
Okay.
Also, it doesn't appear to be update on token drop, so you know.
Oh, well, I better fix that. There. I don't know. I just prefer the update on token drop. It's
Oh
less,
no, it's definitely the superior for exploration and stuff like that.
but yeah, there is a thick ass bunch of webs, so you can do what you want about those.
Oh, I should reset my hit points back to full.
So what you doing? Actually, this is an exploration mode, so I'm going to turn on the initiative tracker.
Mark.
Everyone, go ahead and roll up your initiative. I'll bring your bear when I have room for it on the area, by the way. Go. For now, we'll just say he's above you.
Yep, cool.
I think we just need Pledrum on the initiative tracker. If you're there, Michael.
Sorry about that.
Huh? I was just waiting for you to roll your initiative because we're going into exploration mode.
Yeah.
Gork and Emanuel, what are your dex modifiers?
Manual's probably higher. Mine is +2.
7.
Just because it's easier for the same initiative ones. Okay, so descending up, Aphixa. You see the spider webs below you that are about 10 feet up on the stairwell. And you can kind of see the floor here and there.
Do you say the spider webs are blocking our path?
Yes, they're very much so. They're very thick and intrusive. Like, you can kind of see bits and pieces of the floor, but it kind of much chokes the bottom of this area.
I do have
Can you burn those
torch.
away?
I have a torch. If we light it, that could probably work.
I mean, you can use your action to light it and throw it down there.
All right, she'll do that.
Yep. They do begin to burn away. And it takes probably 2 or 3 rounds for them to burn away. So we can just say that this is going to basically be your turn of this action where it finishes up. Because you're all kind of waiting, and then it'll go ahead and Pledrum.
Yeah, I'm not getting in those spider webs.
Yeah, the webs now have kind of dissolved into ash and have left the floor clear. There doesn't seem to be an exit that you can see.
Given the webs, I think I'll try detecting magic. Don't know if they were magic before they burn away. I'd like to know if they were magical or not.
Yeah, let me double check something.
Speaking of being able to see, I can't.
Yeah, I've only got a 5-foot ring around me too.
Yeah, there's a reason for that now. I'll just tell you. But give me a sec. Let's see.
let us know if we're expecting giant spiders or mages.
You're detecting magic. I'm just trying to tell you what the spell school is, because you detected it on the web before and in the general area. But I just didn't want to tell you the wrong thing, because we're not doing exactly round by round for this. This is just kind of as you guys are exploring. So you would take a couple rounds to look it over. It is an abjuration spell of some kind. And even when you clear the webs, it does seem to still be present.
There's still magic in the area.
And then, Emanuel, what are you doing?
He's definitely going to wait.
Okay.
Repair a bow for a spider.
What you doing, Gork?
So we're all just standing in a big line? What are we waiting for?
Webs are almost clear.
The webs at this point would be clear. So, but you just don't see any way out of the tunnel. It goes down to the floor, and then it seems to be empty.
A long way comes down
Just,
for nothing, but lots of magic in the area, so maybe
Could
we
it be
look
an
close. Is there? I'm going to maintain concentration on it. So is there anything else magic in the area, or aside from the area in general?
Let me just double check what detect magic can detect, so I can tell you exactly. You currently only detect one aura of magic. It is abjuration. It is considered a moderate aura in terms of power level.
Yeah, by all the woods, by all the trees in the forest. What, you want me just to walk forward if that was a trap, it triggers it?
If you want to, I wouldn't advise.
What's your alternative? Just stand here until whatever's down there grows bored?
I can go down if you need me to.
Yeah, I mean, going down, looking for anything unusual.
Where would you go down? Do we see?
You basically just see the landing of the steps on the bottom, and then you don't see any exits right now.
It's not like it's collapsed down there, so
Yeah, it has
I
been
guess
cleared. So
search the walls for hidden doors or whatever.
Has to be some kind of trick.
the one dwarf that doesn't have detect secret doors.
All right. Give me a moment. I'm going to use a standard action to shift into my werebear form. That's not large. That's just the medium one.
Mm-hmm. You should be able to shift. I think I still have the second set up.
Yeah, I can do that. I was just adjusting it on my sheet. And then that gives me the scent ability. What do I smell? Because if it's like an illusory door or something like that, unless it's a greater illusion, I should be able to smell like the draft and the mustiness.
You definitely smell mustiness. In terms of draft, you don't really feel much of a draft. But I mean, just your general eyes and ears would have told you that there should be some kind of door around here, but you just can't see it. You don't smell anything off. You detect the faint smell of rancid water, but it doesn't have any one spot that it's coming from.
Start feeling for secret doors.
Mm-hmm.
That'll wait for your turn unless someone does it first. So
No, I forgot.
I'll roll a
Check
perception as a part of my sniff, but
yeah. I mean, if no one finds it before Emanuel. Yep. Gork,
+2 against stonework. Still have that as a dwarf.
you smelled the particular bit of the smell that you were smelling close to where you're standing, and you do find a secret door. You kind of push on it; it doesn't seem to budge before you hit it in the right spot, and like a brick imprints on it and moves. And let me just.
It could have been trapped or. Nah.
Just standing here like a bunch of scared cubs.
So
My real life yawn.
as you open the door, the only one who's not affected is Afixa, as she has some special new goggles.
Mhm.
So I'll fix hers. But everyone is enveloped immediately by a fuck ton of fog that obscures your vision beyond 5 feet.
Haha. Let me double check because my scent goes beyond 5 feet, so I can at least know where creatures and walls and stuff are.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
but that will be your turn opening the door, Gork. After all that,
This is true, yes.
but it will be Afixa's turn. As you do see inside, vaguely through the crack, you see a horribly decaying room. But you see, like on parts of the walls that are smooth, you begin to see like chicken scratch writing that you can't make out. You know from your experience now at this point that it's probably Thassalonian,
Mhm.
just from the sheer chances of being in a cave system below a cave system that had Thassalonian stuff in it before. But you don't see much else.
Well, she'll whisper outtake point and start making her way in.
Mm.
Also, I don't think the bars on this token are hooked up to my sheet. I turned off all the... Oh, no, I take it back. I was wrong. It did. I forgot my full form bumped my AC. Never mind. Ignore me.
Afixa, the one thing you do see very clearly is this huge demon just kind of sleeping in a clearly shrine of Lamashtu in the distance.
Mm.
But as you get there, give me 1 second. You hear someone speak to the right of you. And you hear him speak like, "Been a while since I've had visitors. Do you come from Thassalon up above?"
No, Thassalon is gone. Sandpoint is now the city above.
Sandpoint is the nation, then.
It is a town. The nation is called, and then I can't remember off the top of my head what the
Varesia.
Varesia is the nation above.
Who rules the lands above?
Several factions.
Several factions. Is there a seat of power?
Mm.
While he's asking these questions, I will go ahead and go to Pledrum's turn because it's one of these things where he's just kind of starting to bombard you with questions. You don't see anyone, by the way. You hear him speaking to you from on the map to the north, but you don't see anybody.
Right, just gonna step forward here. All right. Hello.
At that, Fix will
Oh, hey.
put her hand on his chest and just kind of. How thick is the fog? Is he able to see immediately adjacent to him?
Basically 5 feet around him, I believe, is what you can see.
Yeah,
So
I can see.
you could make me out at this point, so I'll kind of put my finger to my lips in a hushing and kind of gesture to the west and just kind of, big eyes and just like basically giving expressions that there is something really big and bad over there.
Yeah, you both hear a voice now like, "Do not worry. Yaren over there is quite tame. I assure you he won't attack unless I wish it. I just wish questions answered."
Care for exchange of questions and answers?
He kind of chuckles for a moment. He's like, "Very well. One question for one question. I believe you are due to."
Who are you?
I am formerly known as Zaliasa, but I am now known as the Scribbler.
Mm.
Kind of a downgrade there.
Are we the first you've seen come through here in thousands of years?
No, there's been some humans that came by recently.
That was Traitor the Karzog name, wasn't it?
I mean, you, none of you really hear this except for Pledger and Afixa, but yeah, that is what you remember. But before any other questions happen, Reese, it is your turn.
Mm-hmm. That is a narrow tunnel. Bump into Pledger.
Ooh, more.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen a lizard folk.
Eh? Who this?
I am known as the Scribbler,
Hmm.
but I believe it is my turn for a question. And he thinks for a moment, and then he speaks again. What has become of Runelord Karzog and Runelord Alasnist?
Is that something the three of us are able to hear at this point?
Yes. He is speaking common, but it's very like choppy, like he's just recently learned it.
Not to know about the other one, but Karzog appeared to be active-ish.
Trying to regain power.
He has always been a troublesome one. Before we go into your next question, I will go down to Emanuel, who can move in.
Mhm.
I like how the bear fits perfectly.
You're right. And from my perspective, I just see like the stretch of light that's just the bear eyes and a hat.
I will
Yeah,
say
you
you
might
probably
not be
need
able to
to
get
do
through that
something
tunnel.
large to fit through that tiny ass door, even with the squeezing.
Do what?
You probably have to reduce them to large to get through that tiny ass door, even with the squeezing ability, because that is a very narrow crack.
All right. Then I'd do reduce animal on him. Take him down to large. Is his token out here?
Yeah, it's in the stairwell right now.
All right. So he can get. He can. Let me look it up again. I think he can squeeze through a space 1/8 his size.
Yeah, that's why I say large will be fine, but huge is just a little bit too big to fit through the tiny door that you have.
Yep. And he can fit normally through a space 1/4 his size without penalty.
Yeah, so he's easily able to, like, you could probably put him like right here if you want on the side.
Which if he's gargantuan or whatever, not huge, he can move normally through large and squeeze into medium.
Okay.
But so yeah, you'd need to take
But
him down
as
to
large.
With large, you're gonna have no problem squeezing them in anywhere around here.
Yeah.
It was just the
He'd be
huge
able
was a
to
little
move.
bit of problem for a couple spots.
Yeah. At large, he'd be able to walk normally in a medium space, right? Because that'd be 1/4
with
his
compression.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, as you get to your turn, it's like, I believe it is your folks' question next. Anything you wish to ask of the Scribbler?
Vix would give them the rundown of the answers she already received as far as the name and
What your relation to Karzog?
I know of him. He kind of chuckles again to himself. Like, I played as a double agent for him with Runelord Alasnist, as well as a double agent for her. So I kind of traded information between the two for my own benefit and for my lady below. And then
About the mountain.
before we go on to the next questions, Gork, if you want to move in or do anything, feel free.
Sure. I'll move in. Tunnel.
Secret tunnel through the mountain.
I'm just on top of everyone's token.
You basically have to double move.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I have a scent of 30 feet. Do I smell this chucker?
Yeah, he's right next to Pledrum.
Where's Pledrum?
That's the question.
I can still smell where Pledrum is.
Yeah, he's right here. You can smell the guy above him right here. So, yeah, Pledrum's 10 feet north of you. The guy's 15 feet.
Yeah. Lost my movement. I literally enter the room in werebear form, start going, just smelling the air like Wolverine, and start kind of walking around and slowly winding that direction. What's that smell? Yes, that is Gork's question.
I have not bathed in 10,000 years. It does get to be a little unpleasant.
I just love the idea of this 10,000-year-old wizard super spy being prepared, and everyone's like, "Oh, your rank." And he's like, "Jeez, no hurt my feelings, man."
Suddenly self-conscious that he has no deodorant.
Yeah.
Now we're going to ask any more questions.
Next one I've got is what happened to the guards, but I feel like that may or may not start combat.
Yeah, it is his turn, so he kind of asked the question. He's like, so if Runelord Karzog is active, does that mean he has an army again?
Karzog
Maybe.
was
Karzog is the one that you heard through Mockmurian.
okay.
He threatened to unleash one, but
He's gathered up several small armies. None of them maintain that we know of at this point. They've all broken in turn.
Very
Tell
well.
him about how we just destroyed one.
Destroyed more than one.
It's still your turn if you want any questions asked, and he'll respond in kind.
I think I know the answer to this one, but who is the lady below that you're referring to?
Yes, the Lady Lamashtu, Mother of Monsters. She's been around for generations and eons. I'm not one to worship some false god as those that worship the peacock spirit. Kind of says disdain.
honestly, at this point, it feels like Mashi is more the big bad of the campaign than this other guy.
But then he kind of speaks and is like, you know Lamashtu. Are you a follower of hers as well? It's been a while since I've known other acolytes of her.
Not me, but a friend of mine. Have you met somebody by the name of Nualia?
No, I'm afraid I just woke up recently. Believe it's been 12 days. There was a minor quake that disturbed the rune well above. I imagine Karzog or Alisnist amassed some emotion that enhanced their abilities. Knowing Karzog being active is probably greed. He was always the greedy one. Going down to Pledrum, he asks, not sure how he would say it, but he basically asks, do you know of how powerful spellcasters are in this day and age? Anyone can answer. It doesn't have to be just Pledrum, but...
All right, Pledrum. Pledrum is going to answer in a kind of sarcastic display, and also because he can't see anything. I'm going to cast Light.
Okay. It doesn't help you with your vision. It's all mostly being blocked by fog, so...
Mm-hmm.
Powerful
Does
enough.
Showing off.
Well, I guess Ifix has dark vision anyway, so if there's anybody there that was visible, she'd see him.
But yeah, that's how it is apparently not powerful enough as he tries to cast a light, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's light in here now, but it doesn't. The fog is so thick it doesn't pierce it.
When he asks how powerful spellcasters are in this day and age, no one says anything.
Rumors
Like-
of a few, but Not met them.
Stronger than you, apparently.
I am not of the arcane persuasion, I'm afraid. I was more in touch with my god.
As I can tell, because I'm staring directly at where he's standing.
Yeah? Should we ask about the guards? Or? Wow, that was broken.
Yeah, Pledrum was saying something. You broke up a little bit, Michael.
I said, do I get to ask a question?
You can, yeah.
If you want. Like I said, I think mine's going to begin the encounter. End the parlay.
I say, you know any good songs?
I'm afraid I don't. I was never a musical sort. Going to Rish's turn, he asks, so if there's no strong spellcasters, at least none that have allegiance of many people, how do you plan to defend yourself against the return of Karzog?
We're kind of figuring that out as we go. What would you recommend is the best way to defend ourselves against Karzog?
He kind of chuckles. Well, you can always do what I did and find the rune well, or the rune forge. And then, any questions you wish to ask him, he can respond.
We'll probably want a follow-up of where the rune well is and what it does.
Yeah.
2 questions.
But
So, like before he asks a question, I imagine someone broaches like, "Where is the rune forge?" Because I imagine he's trying everyone's patience when he can't see him, and at least Afixa knows there's this giant demon just kind of chilling a little far away. He's like, he just kind of smiles when you ask about the rune forge. He's like, "Oh yes, it was so satisfying to find the information that I needed. They kept it so secret, all the Runelords. Oh, a special chamber for only those that they wish, that even they themselves could not enter without fear of reprisal from the other 6. Oh, but I found it, my ducklings. Oh, I found it. It is so easy to find once you find all the clues. But I'm afraid our time of conversation is up. If you wish to find the Rune Forge, I've written clues on the walls of my shrine here. But, it's up to you to find them." And he just kind of, you hear a chuckling before the chuckling kind of fades away.
Is he just walking away and I'm smelling him?
No, he just seems to vanish from his place.
Wait, I have one last question. Why are you so cryptic and annoying?
Where's
And
the
then
mountain that sees?
we will land here for Reese's. I'll let you go ahead and take your turn. Currently, you can only see 5 feet in front of you. The fog is very thick, but you do begin to see or not you, Afixa, you do begin to see that demon stirring a little bit. Which I will actually just add his initiative now.
If you want to make some noise about that.
Yeah, Fix will say, guys, there's a demon to the west and it's waking up. It is looking very big and imposing.
Oh, and what luck, he goes next.
Well, if you let me, I'm going to try and dispel this effect that's causing the fog.
I mean, as you should probably, huh?
Yeah. Gonna tap to add 8 to the roll. I don't know if I have the roll on this or not. So dispel check of 33.
Okay, yeah. Even with the spellcaster, so you're dispelling the fog, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, you are, and I will put your visions back to what you normally have. Gork is 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
Emanuel is 60 feet. I remember that. I believe Pledrum has 60 feet with his goggles, correct?
I think it is 120. The goggles were a slight upgrade, but...
Gotcha. So he'll see the demon as well. Reesh has 60 feet because you have permanency cast.
Mm-hmm.
And let me know if I didn't do anybody's, but I think everyone should have vision now.
I have got a lot more.
Yep. And I will, before his turn comes up, I will give you the flavor of this room you're in currently. The walls, floor, and even the arched ceiling of this place are covered with writing. The words spiral and trail in the language of Thassalonian, or Thassalon. Some of the phrases are immense with words nearly 3 feet high, while others are written in tiny, spidery script. The medium for the writing varies as well, sometimes in dark ink, sometimes in blood, sometimes carved into the stone itself. The passageway north and east lead into fog-filled tunnels. Even with the dispel into the fog, this fog is not as thick, but it is still there. This seems to be more natural fog. And you see, let's see. And then to the west, you see what appears to be an immense cathedral. And yeah. And are you moving anywhere, or are you going to stay put after you cast your Dispel Magic?
I'm going to stay put for hope the fog dissipates a little bit.
Okay, now see what this guy's going to do, because he has a lot. And he
Calm
has-
down, little devil, demon man.
Oh, you guys are in the perfect position for a confusion spell.
Oh
Kill
no!
fast, but bullets too slow.
So yeah, go ahead and everyone make me a will save.
Need a spell pen?
Okay, I will do that. Give me 1 second.
I'm pretty satisfied with a 31. Yeah. My classes may not give me a lot of bonuses to the will save, but having 18 helps a lot.
Oh, doesn't
Mhm.
get through the spell resistance.
So you're immune
Confusion.
to it.
Confusion
So
isn't.
does dose.
Confusion is mind affecting compulsion.
I think you might have a +4 to that. Let me check with my paladin stuff.
So it's not like taking control of your mind. So I think protection from evil doesn't give you anything right now.
It's
I think he would-
compulsion.
He might be able to counter some.
Is it a charm effect?
It is compulsion mind affecting. It doesn't say charm.
No, I
Enchantment
think I,
compulsion is under the mental control subsection.
Oh,
Just
so
then click on it.
you have protection from evil. That should make you immune, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's what he did still stands because he wouldn't have known you had that. So that means you guys are immune to it. Huzzah. There again. Emanuel,
Nice.
you saw a spell fizzle around you.
All
I can
right.
try to long shot. I don't even know if that works. Might be immune to stuff.
wait, which way was it fixed?
Keep going that direction, you'll find him.
Alright. He's got Long Strider on. Oh, is that him?
Probably.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
That's
pointing right
Big
at him.
green beastie.
that's big. He is going to come up here and cast Bow Spirit, and then swift action, have it take a shot. And he is within what range? Not 30 feet, so he will. Yeah. It's crappy because he didn't have his. All right, here it goes. Bundle strike. Shock climbing bow.
That will hit.
Right.
It does seem to get blocked a little bit. Seems the it can't get all the way through his hide.
Yep. And liming, I think if he is, I forget what liming does. I think it highlights any creature that has any type of blur. Yeah, if he has any blur, displacement, and visibility.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't have any of that on.
Okay. But it does not make DR special. So Dos Esses is going to use
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
is going to invoke his smite.
I don't know if he has. Does he have sight of him?
He goes now.
Oh, oof, okay. Jesus. Oh my god.
And he is going to use lunge to be able to reach him. And
As you see his body just unfathomably stretch.
yeah, he's basically like a bear weasel. You know how weasels and
Yep.
ermines can just kind of contort? Yeah, that's
Flexible
what he-
collarbones.
He turned your brother into a rat, is what he's saying.
Yeah. All right.
I was so happy when he took the bait because I suggested this to him.
Yeah, this was all Richard's idea.
You better
It was
make
the
an
easiest-
honest
it was
bear
the
out of him.
easiest one.
Oh, he's not. He's
I
making
know.
anything but a bear.
All right, blood for the Empire because what's his name hit, and he's got a smite up. So here he goes. He's just going to do one slam, or try to.
That will miss. That's massive damage for one slam, though.
Well, he's got smite up, which does like 11 extra damage.
Gork, what you doing?
First things first.
Form up there.
All right. Be smart, and I'm gonna rather than double moving, I'm gonna standard action, Celestial Dire Bear up. Just jump straight to full power.
Yeah.
If you could enlarge my token, I can change the. All right, and that'll be my turn.
Gotcha. Fix, what you doing?
Doesn't look like I'm in a place where I could get any more than two of you in my aura of justice. I'll just have to go up and ahead. Right there. Alright, I'll go ahead and use my swift action to smite. I'll go ahead and use it's a free action to grant Aura of Justice, so let's see. Nope, just Emanuel and Gork are able to use my smite. And then as my action, I'll go ahead and cast Bless Weapon.
On the bear?
On myself.
Okay. I saw an arrow from you to the bear, so I'm like, wait, are you casting it on the bear?
No,
I'm
that
seeing how
wasn't me.
far he was away to see if he got the smite.
Okay. So, some things just work out tremendously.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're
Like positioning and stuff. The bear's about to get a full round attack. The first one's going to go against flat-footed because he is invisible. Oh wait, sorry, hold on. That was
It misses.
that was the wrong macro anyway, but we'll ignore that first swing. So the other two are 33 and 21 to hit.
Flat-footed takes away.
Well,
Yes.
that would have only been the first attack, so his normal AC not smiting something would be
His
against...
normal AC is 37 right now.
Okay. So those will all miss then. I thought he got a bonus AC from smiting. I wasn't sure if it was...
No, he doesn't. All he gets is for
Damage.
Celestial Template, all you get is attack and damage, and attack comes from Charisma, which he doesn't have. So all he's got is hit die to damage.
Gotcha. But he appears right there. Seems to be the guy you were talking to. Bedroom.
All right, so I am going to run into this corner. begin Inspire Courage. And then I'm going to cast Displacement on myself.
Gotcha.
Is Inspire Courage your Bardic buff?
Yep.
And all we have to do is be able to hear it.
Yep.
So is my go, or
Yes.
Yep, that is my full turn.
so go ahead and cast mirror images on myself. Yay, all 8. And then I'll move up and, as part of the move action, pull a ever-burning torch out of the... Oh, you didn't set up the icons for this one. Yeah, I'll use this one.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. I'll fix it next time we play.
Yep.
I just forgot to add them to this one.
Anyway, I'll move up and pull out one of the ever-burning torches. Probably going to chuck that next round, but who knows?
Okay, this guy. He's gonna cast a spell on Rish, and I don't believe you get a save. Yep, no save. You are stunned. As he casts Power Word Stun on you. And you have 119 hit points, so it stuns you for 1d4 rounds. 2 rounds. And then he begins to move in, provoking an attack from the bear as he closes in.
Oh boy, he's gonna regret doing that.
That'll miss. Emanuel.
All right. Manuel will actually Dose will is going to 5-foot his that little ass out of there. I guess he's still going to be flanked.
Yeah.
And
Big creature.
Not for much
Yeah.
longer.
he's going to concentrate on that big one right in front of him. And he's going to full attack. So he's got Blood for the Empire. He's going to power attack. Big game. He's not flanking. Bardic buff. Okay, here he goes. He's going to use his improved unarmed strike to do an iterative attack.
Did you just make a bear animal companion version of me?
I did. He's now going to secondary claw.
You just stole my entire
Claw.
Those two will hit.
And do they grab?
CMD
46.
That one doesn't crit, by the way.
Oh god, he has another animal companion that grapples.
I know.
Well,
I expected that fully. First
So
of all.
That's
honestly,
Richard's fault.
The constricting was what made it bad more than the actual
Yeah.
grapple.
Yeah, the first one grabs. So
All right. So the second one would have been at a higher attack due to him being grappled.
I think both the claws hit, he said.
Okay.
Also, with
you just
that,
don't crit
then-
with that confirm one.
Gotcha. Okay. And then secondary bite.
Yep.
And then secondary slam.
I love how he just made Gork.
he just made me.
That'll
Well,
miss.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
And he's gonna keep holding on to the
Actually,
grapple at this point.
Then the
And
manual.
then
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Manuel
no.
hasn't even gone yet. I forgot about his fucking turns.
It's all the animal companion show anyway.
Manuel's gonna put up his aspect of the tiger for Dex and mouse to evade this motherfucker, and as a swift, and then take a single shot with vital strike.
Well, that
Oh,
confirms.
and that's a
That's a ×3 crit, isn't it, with that bow?
it should be doing that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It looked like it just doubled. No, that
Yeah,
definitely
just
hurts
roll.
him quite a bit.
It's probably only looks double because the vital strike
The rolls, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Emmanuel's gonna 5 foot back.
hmm He is looking heavily wounded now.
All right, my turn.
Yes.
All right. You see,
Show your brother how it's done.
5 foot
It's a
step.
bear off.
Cope, you made a pretty good Gork clone, but I'm going to swift action smite this guy. I've got Bardic, Blood for the Empire, Friendly Rivalry. I'm going to show you can't beat the original.
And I
So-
think you're flanking him too.
Although,
for
did
a
you
large creature.
did you apply your smite damage to, or did you smite anybody?
I'm
Can-
smiting him now.
Well, no,
I
I mean,
did.
Afixa gave
Yes,
it to
Dos
you.
SCs had his smite on, and Emmanuel had your smite on.
Okay, just want to make sure you remember to apply that.
So currently, Gombo, you have Afixa's smite.
Yep,
Give it to
I've
you,
got
so-
both smites.
Oh,
My unarmed strike attack damage, you want to know what it is? 1d4 plus 45.
Jesus.
well, this guy's not long for this world. And he's dead.
I still have 2 more claws and a bite to go.
Well, you shred the body.
Then he just explodes.
Fixa.
Somehow, in the
Alright.
ensuing explosion, Gork as a bear has turned his back to it as the smoke is clearing.
All right, she'll go ahead and use her last smite on this guy,
Gotcha.
and then move in and attack.
That's all my smites for the day, but I
39
Um,
hit.
was trying to make a
I
Gork
believe so. Let me
clone.
double check.
I feel like it was pretty spectacular.
Yes, that will hit. 38 points. Okay, his turn. First, he's going to try to cast defensively. Does it? Let me get the shape tool. Wait, wrong side. Here we go. A nice blade barrier right there. So reflex saves from the lot of you. Although Reach is stunned, do you get to make a reflex save if you're stunned?
Got conditions up. Stunned creature drops everything held, can't take actions, takes -2 penalty to AC, and loses Dex bonus to AC.
I feel
didn't
like
say
we
you
forget the dropping everything thing a lot.
Yeah.
It's done. Speaking for myself as well.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I guess
So
it's
go
up
ahead.
to you.
Go ahead and make it. It's a fairly high DC, so. Okay, so Gork passes, so we'll take half. The other two take full.
What type of damage is this?
This is. They're sharp blades, so. Wait, pure force, so force damage.
Okay, I was just wondering if my DR factored in, but does spell resistance factor in then?
Yes, I'll roll that after this. So this will be the damage, reduced to half for Gork, but let me, if he doesn't get the spell resistance. So,
Yeah, let me just look up the Celestial template real quick.
25.
I'm pretty sure that does let me, yeah, CR plus 5. So that would be my hit dice if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I hit die plus 5.
So yeah, it's 18. It rarely blocks anything, but it's worth checking.
But I mean, it's always worth chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he rolled low earlier, and it blocked it for Fix and Dos SCs.
So half of 56 damage.
And he's gonna just 5 foot over here.
That'd be 28.
And it's Pledgerim's turn.
All right, Pledgerman's going to step around the corner, see what he can see. Hey, what direction is that guy?
Over here.
To the west of me.
All right. Is this like an active effect on the ground?
By the way,
He's
Gombo,
doing the ring of.
yeah,
That's a
it's an
blade
active effect.
barrier.
Yeah. Gombo, give yourself your health back because if you pass the reflex save, you take no damage from this.
Actually, you said it's a force effect, right?
Oh wait, hold on. Any creature passed through the wall takes damage and save for half damage. So you do tell me if you evoke the. Oh no! So because he evoked it on you, you actually move out of the way and take no damage.
Actually, there's another thing. You said force damage, so it's a force effect, right?
Yes.
Ring of Force Fang. I negate the spell and absorb it into my ring, gaining a number of charges equal to the spell level.
Okay, so you gain 6 charges.
But that also means no. Let me double check because I'm pretty sure that means no one is affected by the blade barrier.
Yeah, if it's actually negated. But
I
that's
think
the
it just
question.
negates it for you though.
I'm just
Because I
checking.
thought it has to be something that targets you.
Yeah, it might be
He
targeted.
targets the area.
Band negates any force spell or force spell-like ability targeted at the wearer. Doing so gives the ring.
Yeah. I'll let you absorb the damage with the ring, but it won't negate the spell.
Okay. However you want to interpret it. But if I move out of the way so I don't take the damage.
Yeah. So you can stay in there if you want and just absorb it.
I mean,
It's only like 5 feet difference, really.
yeah, I'll just keep the 5 feet and do that. I mean, I would argue I think I could still negate it, but hey, you the GM.
It's just because it says specifically if it's targeting you, and this is specifically targeting an area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with
Anyway,
the area thing.
You teleported over there?
Pledgerum Dimension Doored over here, but he does not have an attack left, so.
It is now Risha's turn.
Still
Or you're
stunned.
stunned. Yep. First turn of stun. Emanuel.
All right. Dose is going to move 5-foot step back. And whack-a-mole. We aren't flanking yet, are we?
No.
Okay. So he will take off power attack. And iterate, just unarmed strike. Can't say that word.
Miss hit.
And then secondary claw. Grab
Miss.
attempt.
That missed, so it doesn't matter if it grabbed or not because he failed.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Miss as well.
Misses again. Bite.
That'll hit.
And then slam.
Miss.
He loses his arm. And then
It becomes a floppy sausage for a second. He has to re-put it back.
Manuel's going to move up to here.
Okay, 2 reflex saves because you're moving through the blade barrier.
Yep. I thought it says just 1 if you move through.
Yeah, but you're moving through each space of it.
Yeah, because the entire area is filled with it. It's not a wall.
Yeah, he made a cube area, rather. Well, first one, both of them take half, so I'll just roll all of it together.
Well, he's got evasion, so he would avoid it all.
So you have evasion? Okay.
Yeah. He when he puts up his aspect, he puts up the dex one and the mouse one that gives him evasion.
Gotcha. Okay.
Probably
Yeah,
saved
you're
your
fine.
life, man.
Yep. So
Yeah.
just to make sure, I did take no damage from the blade barrier, right?
No damage. If you
Okay.
stepped out of it, you took no damage.
And then
I mean, even if you were in it,
Manuel's
you could absorb the charges. So.
gonna
Either way.
swift action, have his spirit take a shot, and then he is going to take a shot as a standard.
Damn, guys. Y'all
And
nasty.
those are with the smite to bypass DR.
Yep. I mean, he's not looking hot, so Gork, you're up.
All right. Let's see. Well, let me quickly measure something out here. Okay. I'm pretty sure this movement is valid. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
That's
will
fine.
get one attack on you as you go by, though, because you're
Hold
going
on.
into his threatened area and then moving further in.
Okay, he's got reach. So
No,
before
I mean,
he does.
because you get to here,
Yeah,
and
you
you take
last.
one more step. So you're already in
Oh,
its
okay.
threatened
Right,
area.
because I couldn't end my space in.
Yeah.
Okay. I will spend some stamina points. Hold on, let me double check this. If you move your soul speed or greater, spend. I will spend 3 stamina points. That'll add 6 to my AC. He still gets his attack of opportunity as normal. I'm just. Well, it's a natural
41.
20.
Well, no, that's not a natural 20. He crits on a 15, so that's 17 to hit. So 41 is if it's not your AC.
Well, let's see. My AC is 28 plus 6. No, that'll still hit.
Okay, so are you good aligned?
My character is, yes.
Yeah. So you'll take that extra damage too because that's so it doesn't confirm the crit.
Yep.
So you take
I like-
45 and then 8 unholy damage.
Is it evil aligned weapon damage?
Yes, it is unholy.
Is it silver?
Yes.
Okay. That's all my checks then.
At least I'll double check for you, but I'm pretty sure this is a silver weapon.
I like that Gombo clarified that you were asking, is he evil aligned or his character?
His
It took
character's
me a
Um,
while to process, and then I realized, oh yeah, character alignment, not just my.
By the way, would
aura.
a 33 confirm the crit? Because he has critical focus. I forgot about that.
Hold on, let me mental math it. No, because my AC is exactly 34.
Okay.
Actually, higher than that because I forgot I have mobility. The 41 would still hit, but it would be higher.
So yeah, what happens is when he hits you with this falchion,
Mhm.
it hits you and it sinks into your skin, and you actually move out of the way before you see the head of the whole blade almost looks like it animates and begins to look like it's about to chew you, like the actual sword, and like bite at you. But you are able to pull away before that happens, and he pulls it back.
All right, and
What the hell was that?
I still have my standard because that was only a movement action to get up there. I am flanking, but not friendly rivalry. No giant hunter, no haste, no smite, bardic, bear farm. Just making sure I got everything right.
Mhm.
All right, and then I will attack him with my one shifter claw because I can only do one. But I will spend 5 stamina points to add 5 to this roll.
Gotcha. That'll hit.
All right. And this is good aligned in my and cold iron.
Man, this guy has so much cool shit, but you guys just destroyed him.
Yeah, because all the cold iron magic, silver, good aligned stuff.
Yeah, all the smite and everything, just out of the gate, just destroyed these two. Like this guy had some pretty good shit. He had a crit build, but he also was a war priest.
Mm.
If it came up to his turn, he could have just dimension doored the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
That's why I move quick.
Do like War Priest.
But he's dead now.
Oh man. Combat stamina was a good investment. I like having that flexibility to just be like, and this will hit. I pry my claw from his rib cage and thorax.
Do you guys want to know what he has so you can go ahead and add to the loot now?
Yep.
So he has a mithril agile breastplate. He has a returning cold iron dagger.
Yeah, that's familiar.
I know. He has what is known as a fanged falchion.
Say that 5 times fast.
Fanged falchion? I can't do it. Like I already almost flipped up in the first one. This is what it does, by the way. And even though it's an unholy weapon, you can still wield it as a good character because it doesn't have the negative effects of wielding it as a good person.
Interesting.
I know. And then he also has, where is it? 750 gold in diamond dust.
Oh, you gotta have that Falcon ability put onto your scimitar.
If it's
Yeah, with
possible.
all your crits.
Yes.
The only problem is it will transfer the unholy, so it'll cancel out your holy.
Right.
Good
Not sure I
refund.
want that.
Get an angel to pee on it first.
How does it cancel it out? I
Like,
feel like
it'll
it should
just be
have
it'll
both.
be unholy instead of holy, is what I'm saying.
But it'd be holy and unholy. So like it'd do the holy to
No,
unholy.
it'll only do the one, and since this is the unique weapon, putting this on it will override the holy.
You cannot
Sounds
mix
like-
the divine and the profane bonuses.
Sounds like you need a second scimitar.
And remember, the cost of doing this for transferring over, unholy, like it'll replace the cost of that'll negate. You won't have to pay for that. But this is basically putting essentially another +1 modifier on your
Yeah.
sword,
that would
and
be
you can only
super
have a total of
expensive.
+5
Yeah.
modifiers on a weapon.
Well, it's definitely worth having a backup weapon.
Though I'm not sure how comfortable I am wielding an unholy.
No, you see, you dual wield your scimitar and your falchion instead of your shield, and just start going to town.
Right.
Yes.
Though I'd probably transfer to a fresh scimitar then, because I can't one-handed wield a falchion.
Then we'll just call it the
Do it.
serrated scimitar.
There we go. And I'm open to it. I don't have the money for it.
Well,
How
if we go
much
back to
do you
that
need?
guy, he'll do it for free.
Well,
That's fair.
you
got
also are
8.
selling. Well, you have to keep in mind you're also selling a bunch of your shit over the week. If you have the money for that, I'll let you use it towards putting it onto that if you wanted to do that.
I got 18k. What do you need?
How much does it cost to transfer?
You'd have to do that math for that. I'm not gonna.
Well,
fuck with that
I
right
mean, like, what's the breakdown of
So,
it? Is it
now.
half?
Let me look at the automatic progression because it has. I know that has your list listed on the bottom of that sheet.
Okay.
So to
thought
put a +1, so for weapons, +1 enhancement on it. So like it will be 2,000. A +2 would be 8,000. So like it goes up another 6,000. Like what does your weapon have on it right now?
Well, no, this is so we're not talking about
Oh.
adding it to my current. We're
Gotcha.
talking about adding it to a fresh blank.
Gotcha.
Scimitar.
So it would cost 4,000.
4,000.
Yeah.
And if we go back to that giant, if he's still there, I think he said he'd do the transfer for
Well,
free.
4,000 is the cost of it basically instead of paying
Okay.
extra.
I'm definitely open to it.
It's always nice to have a backup in case you find another Sunderer around.
Fix's moral justification is we're redeeming the sword.
But yeah, I think we'll call it here after you killed my mini boss in this dungeon. So
Fair enough.
I mean, you still have to explore the place
She
and find
said.
out what's going on in here.